Culpepper makes his first NFL start, leading a Vikings offense which has scored the most points in the NFL over the last 2 years. Lewinsky replacing the injured Lucina at left guard. Matt Burke is the new center this year. Smith and Klein Saucer in the backfield. Randy Moss and Chris Carter are the wideouts, and the tight end is Andrew Jordan. Vikings start from their own 28-yard line. On 1st and 10, the play fake to Robert Smith. Culpepper can't find anyone, takes off, and has the first down and more out of bounds in Bears territory. A gain of 23 yards.
Culpepper runs it because he's got no receiver. He's got no receiver because the Bears go to cover 2. They bring both safeties to double cover both Moss and Carter. This is the other dimension that Daunte Culpepper has. If he has no receivers, look out. Here he comes. He's got speed and he's got size.
He averaged over 10 yards per carry. But can't do it without his contact lens. 2nd and 10, low snap from the center, Burke. Culpepper makes something out of nothing on the shovel pass. The tight end, John Davis.
Well, Terry Bradshaw said it in the pregame. He said Daunte Culpepper was going to see things he hadn't seen all preseason. Watch this. He sees a bad snap. He scrambles for it. Then he sees Philip Daniels almost on top of him. And this is where Culpepper's athletic ability is just takes over. It's amazing. That's a completed pass.
His first pass attempt
right.
in the NFL.
That's the first time the Bears have given him something to complete. And he did it underhanded. Defense has given him. When they've given him a lane to pull the ball down and run with it, he's taken that. When they've given him the underneath pass, he's taken that. So nice job by a young quarterback showing patience.
3rd down and 7 from the Bears 35. Culpepper can't find anyone. He's in trouble. He escapes. Now fires downfield. Chris Carter thought he was interfered with by Thomas Smith. No flag.
And I think they're going to rule that that pass was not catchable. Otherwise, there would have been a pass interference play. Look at, Culpepper's like Superman. Look at him. Nice protection, but you can only protect so long. But watch him here. I mean, it's like he's impossible to bring down.
From the Bears 46, Culpepper to the outside, and the catch is made by Moss, his first of the day.
This is the first time they've not gone cover 2. They went with cover 3, 3 men deep. Watch it here. See, only one safety, 2, 3 deep. So Moss has got one man to beat, and he beats him. Watch it. And Culpepper does a nice job seeing the coverage, reading it, and delivering the football.
A gain of 9 yards from
out in his first 4 passes. He was 3 for 4 with 34 yards, but since then he's only 3 of 8 with 27 yards.
And his 2 big carries also came early. Culpepper on 3rd down, picks up the first. Taken down at the 31, a 10-yard pickup.
That's right. Give it right back to him. I mean, Culpepper, as well as McNown, can run for these first downs. And if it's not there in the passing game, go ahead and take it, whatever it is they give you. Nice blitz pickup, nice protection by the Vikings offensive line. And then there's the big guy out in the open field.
Side of the goal line. Excellent call.
Tight end to the game, 1st and goal. Culpepper over the top for the touchdown.
That's what you do. You take what they give you. Culpepper took the tight end, and then he took the quarterback sneak.
And there's his 86-year-old mother, Emma, watching Daunte Culpepper's first regular season game, cheering as her son scores his first touchdown. Gary Anderson on the point after. The Vikings now trail by just 4.
Movement of the chain.
Culpepper on 2nd and 4, looking for Moss, and he makes the catch down the sidelines, puts a move on Tony Parrish. Moss still on his feet, cutting to his right, and it's Mike Brown coming down to make the stop. A gain of 65 yards.
There it is. The explosive offense of the Minnesota Vikings. And Daunte Culpepper stretching Randy Moss's speed to its limits. He said, when I throw the ball deep to Randy Moss, I have to throw it in a way that my mind tells me it's going to be an incomplete pass. But he's learned in the preseason, just stretch this guy because he has a burst of speed like no one else. And all of a sudden, Daunte Culpepper's numbers look pretty doggone good.
First and goal for the Vikings from the Bears' 7-yard line. 4 wide receivers set. Culpepper takes off. Oh, his second touchdown today.
Well, they blocked it right that time. Remember the Vikings offensive line coach Mike Tice making adjustments on the sideline after the first or the most recent quarterback draw. This time that hole opens up and Culpepper's size and speed takes the Vikings into the end zone.
Culpepper's second rushing touchdown. Anderson adds the point after. And the Vikings have their first lead since 3-0.
And don't forget.
Pepper has turned this game around in the second half, not just by throwing the ball,
but also by running it. Sometimes he's just scrambling back in the pocket and improvising, using his skills. And other times he's run it in. On the quarterback's draw, he ran the ball into the end zone. And the quarterback sneak / dive, he ran it into the end zone. So 2 touchdowns for Culpepper today. And then you see McNown has also had a big day running the football.
Vikings from the 18-yard line. Culpepper rolling right. Pass intended for Randy Moss. Culpepper, the first Viking quarterback to rush for 2 touchdowns in a game since Joe Kapp did it against the 49ers back in 1968. The last time a Viking quarterback rushed for 2 touchdowns in one game.
I would say with Culpepper as their quarterback, it won't be 32 more years before you see that again.
No. For the Vikings from the 35. They'll kill some clock with Robert Smith. Found a big hole. One man to beat, Mike Brown. Smith out of bounds, just shy of the goal line. A 59-yard run.
What speed by Robert Smith. Watch him. There's a nice hole here. He accelerates through, and look how quickly he gets to the second, third level. And then watch Randy Moss. Don't think Moss is a competitor out there blocking for Robert Smith. There was the foot out of bounds, just out of bounds.
Goal.
And Robert Smith's long run there really shows you how misleading statistics can be, because all day long this Bears defense has done a fine job of containing the run. You know, the handoff run plays to Robert Smith. Now they've not been able to contain Daunte Culpepper, but they were containing the running game until that one long run by Robert Smith, and now it's going to look bad on the stats.
Culpepper.
There you go.
His third rushing touchdown.
You can't defend that. As a defense, when Daunte Culpepper rolls out, you have to respect the pass, and you have to cover your receivers. But if he just gives you a little bit of pump fake, as he does, he forces the coverage to stay, and then he's too fast and big and he can run it right up in there.
The Vikings trail 20-9 early in the third quarter. Since then, Daunte Culpepper has rushed for 3 touchdowns. And the Vikings now lead by 10. In his first NFL start, 3 rushing touchdowns for Daunte Culpepper.
The following presentation of the National Football League from CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 35.
The Minnesota Vikings. The Miami Dolphins. Two of the premier teams of the past decade, but now with new identities in Minnesota. Daunte Culpepper showed last week why he's ready to lead Minnesota. In Miami, Jay Fiedler proved he may have the mettle to take the reins of the Dolphins. It's an interconference showdown. The Dolphins and Vikings next.
Field, tight end and running back. And number 3, we've seen some elaborate offensive play calling. We've seen a reverse already.
And we've seen a very well executed screen to Robert Smith. So that slows the defense down. This great defense has to think a little bit.
Third down and 9. With the Vikings at their 39. Culpepper, great time to throw. He's got Carter downfield, and it's a foot race. Chased by Brock Marion, brought down at the 19-yard line. Marion may have saved the touchdown, and Chris Carter with a 42-yard gain.
Chris Carter's coming right down the sideline here. Protection gives him a chance to complete this one. This one is slow developing.
And, Coach, what a perfect throw. I mean, he drops it right over Brock Marion's head. That's a super throw by Daunte.
And Marion's a good corner guy.
He's a very good player.
Just 25 seconds to play here in the first quarter. Vikings on top on a 28-yard field goal. Minnesota begins it again at their own 34, first and 10. Vikings so far have been dominant on offense. Moss is in motion. Fake to Smith. Culpepper on first and 10. Being chased by Bromell. Being chased by Gardner. Being chased by Rodgers, out of bounds. He ran for 73 yards last week. Runs down the Miami 40 here, and he picks up a gallop of 26.
Now watch how everything breaks down on the right side of the Miami defense. Culpepper knows he can run. Now, you looking at a 270-pound man, you think he's slow. This guy can slam dunk a basketball. They say he can do a 360 dunk. This is a superior athlete. This guy really runs well, and that's something you'll see a lot, and something Dave Wannstedt said he was worried about.
That'll take us to the end of the first quarter with the score, Minnesota 3, Miami nothing. We'll return to the Metrodome right after this message on CBS. Now second down and 20. Push it back to the 45 of the Dolphins for Minnesota. Good block by Birkin-Stuser. There goes the pass. Almost broken up, but it's caught by Chris Carter. It's loose. They mark him down. It's a catch at the Dolphin 18-yard line. It's a 27-yard gain. The animated Chris Carter. Someday he will be in Canton.
This is just a deep in route, very slowly developing. And look at the concentration on this catch. I watched Carter in pregame warm-ups, and he practiced catching the balls with one hand. This guy only needs one hand.
Well, he always catches it with his fingers and his hands. He doesn't let that ball get to his body.
Minnesota's going to burn a timeout. They've got 2 left. 33 seconds to play in the first half, and Minnesota's on top, 3-0. Penalties on the Vikings today, all on Jimmy Green's offense. Push the ball back now to the 37-yard line of Minnesota, where it's 1st and 20. Tight end Davis in motion. Culpepper. Pass, and Carter says he had it.
Yes, he did. Oh, my goodness.
If he caught that, that's miraculous.
Now, that's what I told you. Remember I told you I watched this guy warming up?
Yeah.
He's doing all these drills on the sideline, coach, catching with one hand. I don't believe this.
8-yard gain.
Just a little quick outside move.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
I think I'd look at a review on that. You think?
Let me tell you something. He snatched that out of the air like one of those frogs with a
think
long
he had
tongue getting a fly. That was awesome.
Second down, 12 from the 45. Was not only the #1 rated quarterback in the Vikings' eyes last draft, he was the #1 overall player in the draft in their view last year.
Remember, they passed on Javon Curse. Later took Demetrius Underwood, who didn't pan out, went down to Miami short times now with Dallas. But the quarterback picture panned out.
He was the 4th of the 5 quarterbacks taken, the 11th pick overall, thus the number 11 he wears. First down for Culpepper. Fires a laser beam up to Chris Carter. A first down, gain of 12 to the Dolphin 46.
I think Chris Carter might be the best in the game. I mean, this guy, he catches the bad ball. A bad ball receiver is one of the greatest compliments you can give a wideout. That's a bad ball.
You notice the way he caught it, too. His hip turned back, got his arms back. 10 passes his way, 8 catches today for Chris Carter.
On the Dolphin 46.
The gamble and it didn't pay off. 5 catches today by tight ends in Minnesota.
Dolphin 39, Vikings 1st and 10. Good block by McWilliams, the tight end to the 10-yard line. A great catch is made by Chris Carter. They'll be down at the 7-yard line. 1st and goal, Minnesota Vikings.
He may be the best in the game.
9 catches today for Carter. He's been spectacular, 169 yards. And he beat Sam Madison.
Coach, he catches it in a crowd. He catches the bad ball. This guy is fantastic.
Well, Daunte Culpepper, too, though, did a good job of just putting it out there. There were 2 cover guys in the area. He trusted his receivers to make the catch.
1st and 10.
Of course, in Pittsburgh, taking the Super Bowl, played Cincinnati for a while, did a good job there, but they
Decided, as much as anything, cap problems and maybe a little relationship between Bruce Coslett and Neil O'Donnell.
3rd down and 7, and today Chris Carter's been a great security blanket for Culpepper on 3rd downs. 2 big catches on 3rd downs today. Culpepper throws, looking for Moss. What a catch by Moss. Beats Sam Madison. And a fumble on the play. It's loose at the 27-yard line. And I believe it is recovered by Minnesota.
Randy Moss gets up a little slow right here, but he's just going to break back to the inside. Legal chuck within 5 yards. Man, he is so special. You know, receivers come out and they've got intangibles. Coaches can't coach that part of it.
Coach, that's not catching the ball. That's basically snatching it out of the air.
But you can see Daunte Culpepper getting more and more confident just to let the ball go and let his receivers make plays like that.
Oh, you got the 2 of the most athletic receivers in the game.
2-minute warning. Minnesota's on top of Miami 6-0 on 2 field goals. 28 yards by Anderson, 49 yards by Anderson.
Both of which he was headed to the sideline before they crossed the uprights. Yeah. He was so confident.
First down and 10 to go from the 15.
This audible is a run audible. Offensive linemen are leaning forward. Holy, yes, wrong.
To the end zone. And caught for the touchdown, Randy Moss. Point good by Anderson. As Daunte Culpepper throws his first career touchdown pass. 13-0 Minnesota.
And all of that yelling and screaming by Randy Moss is paid off.
Well, this is a gutsy call. It's a gutsy throw. That ball was almost intercepted. I mean, I still think it was a gambling, courageous, almost reckless call. But that's why I'm up here talking about it. The guys with the nerve are down there calling the plays. Just incredible.
Well, he sees the blitz coming right here. You feel everybody up tight, so he sees one-on-one coverage, nobody coming from the inside. He elects to go for it. This just shows more and more confidence that Daunte Culpepper's having in the receivers making plays at the other end of it for him. And some of it may come from the fact that all week and all during this ball game, they've been coming back to him and getting right in his face. Put the ball up, I'll catch it for you.
I still believe that you guarantee yourself to win by running in that situation.
Strategy-wise, you're correct. 9 points, the game is over.
9 points, the game's over. And that ball was almost intercepted.
But you know, in the long run, the fact that he recognized the blitz, threw the ball up there, and they got that touchdown, going to pay some dividends down the road for the Vikings.
Well, we did say earlier, you keep throwing it at number 84, and something real good's going to happen. You keep throwing it at Randy Moss, and something's going to break. And it just broke the game over, and it's over.
Well, they've got so many weapons with those 2 receivers. Dave Wannstedt told us that he was worried about Robert Smith up the middle. He's been affected there, too. But this young quarterback is just taking another step towards doing the great one.
The NFL on Fox. It's an AFC-NFC battle between the New England Patriots and the Minnesota Vikings. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the NFL on Fox. I'm Sam Rosen along with Bill Moss. First road game of the season for the Minnesota Vikings, who are 2-0 and have been led by their stars.
Well, that's the big thing. And the stars, of course, are Randy Moss and Chris Carter. You may be able to get a biscuit off these guys, but you're not going to get a full lunch. They show up in the fourth quarter. In the first 2 games they played this year, big plays in the fourth quarter by these 2 guys is what have elevated this offense and this team into wins. And they got a young guy throwing him the ball, but he's been afforded the luxury of sitting in the pocket and having those guys catch him. Dennis Green said this about Daunte Culpepper. He's capable of running for 3 and throwing for 3.
So a tough job for the New England Patriots to try and shut down that high-powered offense, but they have to find a way because they're 0-2 and desperately need a win.
And if there's one guy that can do it, it's Bill Belichick. Remember the Pats last year. They were 6-2 until Bill Belichick's defense came up here with the Jets and shut him down. Other teams copied his plan, and the Patriots struggled, went losing 6 out of the next 7 games. He can do that today again. He's going to try to come up with a scheme to put pressure on Daunte Culpepper and shut down those 2 wide receivers. It'll be interesting to see how he goes about it.
Some other keys to look for the Patriots. For that, let's go to the sideline to Butch Stearns.
Well, Damian Woody will start at center, and Joe Andruzzi will be the right guard. And on the left side, it'll be Sally Isaiah. Actually switch those guys around. But that's the key.
Out of the shotgun with both backs in the backfield for protection. Culpepper
Lets it fly to the sideline, and the catch is made by Chris Carter. A first down inside the 40. He finds a way to make the grab and stay in bounds.
Well, that's nothing new for Chris Carter. Anytime he's on the sidelines, he is going to make the catch. I don't even think the side judges or the referees or anybody questions it. He's, again, on Ty Law. Again, you're going to see that all day long. Working the sidelines, knowing where to come back, finding the area to get away for separation. Where to come back, finding the area to get away for separation on the corner, and giving Daunte Culpepper something to throw at.
Caught 9 passes last week against Miami for a career-high 168 yards. The chase is on. Mitchell chasing Culpepper. Culpepper turns it into a gain. And a first down at the Patriots' 26.
12 yards.
What a weapon this guy is.
Every time he takes off, he's at least good for 12 yards.
Another 13-yard pickup.
Here's Brandon Mitchell here. He's going to get the push inside here and get up into Culpepper's face, and then that clears outside here. There's nobody in contain then. There's Stuzy blocking down. Now see, there's nobody outside in contain. That's one thing you've really got to make sure of when you're playing a mobile quarterback that can take off on you, is that you contain the pocket.
He's a linebacker.
He's listed as a backup guard on the depth chart.
For the Vikings on the opening drive. This is the 12th play of the drive. From the 15, 2nd and 9. Culpepper, plenty of time. Turns it into a run. He beat the spy on the play and gets inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Lawyer Malloy finally took him down.
You know, one thing that the Minnesota Vikings have done more of this year than I've ever seen them before is they've got 2 tight ends in the game. And what this allows you is maximum protection. You're going to see he stays in the block, he stays in the block, and now look at the pocket for Daunte Culpepper. You know, when you have 2 great wide receivers like that, you have a young quarterback, it only makes sense to find him good protection so that he's not rattled in the pocket.
Timeout. New England.
Now the Patriots
timeout.
Call timeout to talk things over. The Vikings have a 3rd and 2. They have controlled the ball from the opening kickoff. Stadium. Patriots, after the timeout, set their defense.
Well, I'll tell you, that defense is glad we had a TV timeout. When you're out on the field and they drive on you, you appreciate those timeouts.
One-time Viking Henry Thomas, number 95, is in his 200th career game. Out of the shotgun on 3rd and 2. Blitz is on. Culpepper throws, and the grab is made.
It's short.
The catch is made by Chris Carter. It's very close to the first down marker. If it's short, it's going to be inches short.
You know, Howie Long talked in the pregame show about Ty Law and the matchup and how they're going to use him. It's called like a box man. And what they're going to do is they're going to man one person. And he was talking, he thought it might be Randy Moss. But what they're doing out here is they're manning Law on Chris Carter every place he goes. That was a nice close by Law on that, not allowing Carter to get the first down.
Vikings broke the huddle, but they're being sent back as the chains are brought out to spot the football at the hash mark. Inches short, actually about a foot short of the first down, and the Vikings are going to go for it on 4th down.
Well, heck, when you have in your backfield, you know, almost 500 pounds of beef, and I'm talking about a quarterback and a fullback. Your fullback is 275 pounds in Kleinsasser, and then Daunte Culpepper's 260 himself.
Vikings also have 3 wide receivers in, with Hatchett split out to the left side. Kleinsasser, the lone back. Culpepper for a first down to the 5-yard line.
He's been their short yardage back in the first 3 weeks. Every time they go short yardage, you know, remember they had Leroy Horde and they used to bang him down there in short yardage around the goal line. Heck, they've got a 260-pound quarterback now who now doubles as a short yardage back.
4 carries, 33 yards for Daunte Culpepper. Robert Smith and Jim Kleinsasser in the backfield. It's 1st and goal for the Vikings. This is the...
Come on, let's find out what makes Randy Moss so good. Did you guys ever see when pets go bad? I think it's his feet. I think it's his hands. I think it's his eyes. Retreat!
Fox NFL Sunday next week at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific.
150 pounds, you got to come up and take on a 300-pounder. You've got to be aggressive.
And coming back from a bad injury, the torn bicep. Culpepper being blitzed from the outside, throws for Carter. What a grab! Flag goes down. He tossed it back to Randy Moss, who goes out of bounds.
They blitz Ty Law from the far sideline as he's lined up on Moss. There's a flag on the field. Now, Carter has been called for offensive pass interference last week. Here's the blitz. Now watch outside here. Lawyer Malloy, see if there's a push-off.
They called it on Malloy. Yeah. Look at Carter. Little lateral back.
He is an amazing player, an amazing person.
Pass interference, defense, number 36. The penalty is declined. The pass was complete for a first down.
27-yard pickup. Chris Carter's 2nd catch of the day. He's closing in on numbers 3 and 2 all time. Art Monk and Andre Reed. He could pass them today.
Second case you'll find in no other year by TSI, the Internet Super Carrier, and by Zocor.
Talk to your doctor about Zocor today.
Back in Foxborough, 3rd down play coming up. Randy Moss this season in the red zone. 2 catches, the red zone being inside the 20-yard line.
You know what, the Patriots have done a good job thus far of taking him out of the picture. And I think if I were going to defend Minnesota, that's what I would try to do early too, because he gets frustrated. If he doesn't get the ball and people are jamming him and he's getting double coverage, he gets upset and he gets out of his game. His mind starts being occupied with all the other things and getting mad. And the Patriots have done that thus far. He's only had 1 catch, and that was the clearing route by Carter and Moss underneath for 7.
Vikings have to get to the 14-yard line for a first down. From the 21-yard line, blitz is coming. Picked up, Culpepper throws and completes at the 14 to Chris Carter for a first down. 4th catch of the game for Chris Carter.
Well, Chris Carter knows right where the sticks are at, and I'm going to show you how he does this. He's working right here on the slot. Now watch, he gets deep enough, and then he turns back. So he's got to take Ty Law deep enough so that when he comes back towards the sticks, he's gained separation from Law.
2nd first down picked up by Chris Carter today.
He's a unique guy. I'm telling you, he has as much to do with the offense and play calling as the offensive coordinator for this team.
Play is blown dead.
And what he does, you know, he's involved during the week of play calls. He studies film, he sees defenses. He puts in routes during the week that he feels are going to work. He changes routes and things during the game, which he does last week. It's absolutely amazing how much input he has to the entire package.
When you get on your knees and say your prayers tonight, pray. Every day, baby. Pray you can play as long as me.
Yeah, everybody would like to play as long as him. This is his 14th season. His catches are simply amazing. One of the all-time greats. And last year, caught 90 passes, and that was the best year of any player in their 13th year.
And it's all about work. He was in the pregame today, and that's what he works on. He works on catching the balls on the sideline. He works on his one-handed catches. It's a constant ritual with him. It's something he does all the time. Tireless worker.
And today is his 115th consecutive start.
It's not fair. You have a 260-pound quarterback. You have a 275-pound fullback.
And heck, I'll give you a comparison, Sam. When my first year in the league playing nose tackle, I played at 260. That's the weight that Daunte Culpepper's at right now. That's how much the league has changed and evolved. The entire offensive line, all those guys up there from Minnesota are well over 300 pounds.
Another first down for the Vikings. It's 1st and goal from the 4. The Patriots defense has not been able to stop the opposition in the red zone from scoring a touchdown this season. Opposition 6 for 6. 14th play of this drive for Minnesota.
Quarterback draw. I knew it as soon as I saw them take the
but they may bring it back. May bring it back. Flag on the play.
Holding on this. As soon as I saw the motion of Robert Smith out of the backfield, that took the linebacker out, Brewski. And that's when you take, that's taking a man out of the box. Now, it was a good call. It was a good play by Culpepper, but they're going to get called for offensive holding.
Holding, offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty remains. First down.
Now that's Corbin Lucina. And Corbin Lucina has been battling a bad knee. He had a strained medial collateral 2 weeks ago. And you see his arms outside right there? That's what does it. When they get outside the framework and they don't fight to get back inside, that's when that... You know, a man-child inside it's playing tough and hard, and he has been playing tough, is 90 Chad. He gets down low in there, and he gets that push. See that push he gets back in there? That pushes the center back into the backfield, and that's what clogged that whole thing up. And that was Eaton down low, churning up the side.
2 tight ends in. Carter in motion. The play fake. Culpepper to throw. Wide open. Johnny McWilliams. Touchdown, Vikings.
That's what you call broken coverage.
Second touchdown pass of Daunte Culpepper's career. And once again, total control by the Minnesota Vikings. 16-play drive.
They're using other people.
The first one was a 17-play drive.
And when you take away their threats, their weapons, they're using the other people. That's great adjustment.
Gary Anderson puts it right through. 9:53 remaining in the first half. The Vikings have had the ball twice and 2 long sustained drives for touchdowns. The play fake, and Culpepper finds Johnny McWilliams for the touchdown.
Sideline. Ty Law pushed him out.
Here's Moss. He's going to go deep. And then here's Carter just setting up Ty Law. Just getting enough of a little separation to come back. What's that, his 5th catch today?
Yes.
Hey, 2 more, and he's got the record. Right now, he's tied. Art Monkey needs 1 more to pass Andre Reed. Tie Andre Reed, and 2 more to pass it for 2nd place all time.
5 catches, 52 yards. Carter caught 9 passes last week. There's Randy Moss, the forgotten man. They've got to get to the 32 for a first down. It's a big play for the Patriots defensively. Rushes on. Culpepper goes deep. And the completion of Matthew Hatchett, who walks into the end zone for a touchdown.
Katosa Wanga got caught up in some footsteps and went down.
39-yard touchdown pass. Culpepper to Hatchett, and the Vikings with their 3rd touchdown of the first half.
That's the other receivers that Culpepper is finding.
Matthew Hatchett, his 1st reception of the season. And a touchdown for the Minnesota Vikings. Gary Anderson's extra point is good. The crowd has been quieted by the visiting Vikings, who have had the ball 3 times and scored 3 touchdowns.
Had it for 3 minutes.
Oh, short time this time. Matthew Hatchett stepped in front of Serwanga and walked into the end zone.
Which of the following?
We're seeing a special performance by a second-year
quarterback. First year as a player, actually.
Yeah, right here, here's Moss. He's going to draw that safety. Here's Carter. He's going to come, and then Lawyer Malloy is going to jump Carter inside here. That leaves one-on-one up top, and the quarterback, finds him. That's beautiful. He looks, then bang. He takes the one-on-one down the field.
Nice adjustment by Hatchett.
And what a throw.
All Minnesota. They've had the ball for 38 plays to only 8 for New England. 21-20 time of possession, 21 minutes 20 seconds to only 3 minutes 22 for the Patriots.
Culpepper, I believe, he's convinced me thoroughly. He's something special.
And this is on the road.
Yeah.
First time he started a game on the road.
I'm talking about what he's seen on the field and making the decisions he's making on the field under fire. Well, I lied. Bodies are flying around all over the place. There's quarterbacks that play a long time in this league that never figure out what he's already figured out.
Mitch Berger to kick off. Line drive kick bounces out of bounds, and the Patriots will get the ball at the 40-yard line.
Vikings, long drive. Robert Smith, 4-yard touchdown run. Culpepper
finding Johnny McWilliams for the touchdown. And then another touchdown completion to Matthew Hatchett.
Some unassuming people. You know, you think the Minnesota Vikings, you got to, stop Carter and Moss. And, Matthew Hatchett gets one. And then when your tight end gets one in the flat in the end zone. And you expect the running back to get his yards, but the big plays, you're thinking big plays, big plays. You go into the week thinking we've got.
Telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
It's been a good day for the Vikings, though that last series, they were kept quiet. Daunte Culpepper, Randy Moss, Chris Carter. Patriots from their own 32. Trailing 21-7. Kevin Falk stopped by Chris Hovan, the rookie out of Boston College, the first-round draft pick of the Vikings. And he's going up against his former BC teammate, Damian Woody, who's the starting center.
Yeah, 2 old guys going at it that play together as teammates. And, heck, that's a rivalry within itself. They're both #1 picks. They both have something to prove, and now they've got to prove it against each other.
2nd and 10.
That cover 3, man. Drop back and throw that banger. I need that ball in there with some heat on it.
And he has gotten the ball in there. 5 receptions in the game for the great Chris Carter as he steps up the ladder. All-time receptions. The 5 catches give him 940. He is tied with Art Monk for 3rd all-time. 1 more ties him with Andre Reed. 2 more, and he's 2nd, only to the great Jerry Rice.
What a day he's having today, too, drawing that single matchup with Ty Law all day long. Ty Law could use some help.
He had a good game against Law the last time these teams met in Minnesota in 1997.
Right, he caught 7 balls against him. It was the same matchup. Ty Law was singled up on him all day there, too.
Vikings start at their own 13. Randy Moss has been kept in check. Crowd urging on the Patriots defense. And the quarterback sneak. And look at Culpepper.
Short yardage back.
He needed about 9 inches. He got about 4 yards. 6'4", he told us he's about 255 because he's been watching what he eats.
Yeah, he's watching, all right. He'll eat whatever the heck he wants to eat, including a couple nose tackles. He just bowled his way right over everybody there.
He's carried 9 times in the game. 4 of those carries have been for first down. 3 of them have been for.
Any interception.
Ball at the 16. Glenn in motion. Kevin Falk met head on at the 15-yard line. Good play by Chris Hovan.
You know, the one thing the Minnesota Vikings have had the affordance in the first 2 games is anytime they've turned the ball over, their defense has helped. They have not let anybody. There it is right there.
Yeah.
7 turnovers and no points off turnovers.
We welcome those of you who are watching
The New Orleans Saints and the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks winning, beating New Orleans 20-10. Sam Rosen and Bill Moss at Foxborough. Patriots trailing the Vikings 21-13. This is a 3rd and long. Bledsoe being pressured, grabbed by Hovan, spins him around. He's got him for the sack.
You had the blitz coming, and you had these go routes on the outside. When you have the go routes, they're deep patterns. Your offensive line has to know they need a little bit of time. You know the blitz is coming. It's 3rd down. They've been blitzing you all day. I don't think they should have called that play that deep.
Bledsoe sacked for the 2nd time in the game. And now with under 3 minutes remaining, time a big factor working against the Patriots. Lee Johnson's punt taken by Palmer with a fair catch up at the 12-yard line.
1,200 yards already.
He hit Isaac Bruce with that bomb. It was a beauty. All right, here's the ball game. 4th and 7 for the Patriots. Have to get to the 7-yard line for a first down. Bledsoe fakes. He's being rushed. They've got him. And down he goes.
Bryce Pop.
And to Lance Sawyer there as well. And the Vikings stop the Patriots.
I mean, the Patriots' red zone is just horrible. Horrible offense.
3rd sack of the game for Minnesota. And Bill Belichick.
That'll cause you to
down to his 3rd defeat.
Yep.
A tough finish again. Again, in each game, opening day against Tampa Bay here, last Monday night in New York against the Jets, the Patriots had chances.
In every game they've had, they had a big chance in this game.
Yep.
Heck, all the times they were down inside the red zone, if they had scored down there, this would be a completely different ball game.
Culpepper takes a knee. The Patriots cannot stop the clock. And the Vikings will go 3-0 and head for the bye week. And once again, they win before the bye week. They'll be 9-1 under Denny Green in games prior to the bye week.
Pepper. And this was Matthew Hatchett's first
reception of the season. Daunte Culpepper found him. He stepped in front of Kato Serwanga, walked into the end zone with a 3rd touchdown of the game and the decisive touchdown, as it turned out. Vote for your favorite play of the day and enter the Dr. Pepper Big Play sweepstakes by logging on to foxsports.com. For Bill Moss, this is Sam Rosen. Thanks for being with us. Minnesota wins it. Right now, let's go to JB in the studio.
In the steps to getting to be a good quarterback.
All right, let's find out what Daunte thought about his performance in today's game. Butch Stearns talked with him just moments ago.
Here with Daunte Culpepper. Daunte, you got to be happy on the road to come up with such a big win.
Oh, absolutely. You know, it's my first road game starting, and you know, it was so big for us to come up here and win with 3-0, and you know, hopefully we can just roll from here.
How about the fact that they shut off Randy Moss and you were able to use everybody else?
Well, you know, that's what teams are going to try to do, you know, but it doesn't matter. You know, we're going to go out and win. You know, that's the main thing. We go out and just exploit whatever we can and move the ball, move the chains, and get in the end zone like we did.
Last thing I want to ask you is when you want to tuck it and run, you tuck it and run, and they don't stop you, do that?
You know, sometimes, you know, but if you know, defense gives me that, that's what we're going to take.
All right. Thanks, Daunte. Nice one.
Thank you.
Back to you guys.
A week off next week for Minnesota, and then they resume 2 weeks from today in Detroit. That's the story from Foxborough. Let's go back to the studio to JB.
All right.
He's been just chugging along, chewing up turf every time he gets the ball in his hand.
Vikings have 3 wide receivers in. Culpepper gets rid of it quickly to Randy Moss. He's hit immediately. Short pickup. Up to the 39-yard line. Marquise Walker, the nickel defensive back, came in, made the stop.
One of the things they wanted to do was get Randy Moss the ball early. You know, in the first possession, they tried that deep route. There was a little hitch and tried to get him moving. You know, they believe that he is one of their playmakers, that he can make things happen, and they've got to keep feeding him the ball. He's going to get his touches, and he wants more production, more big production out of himself.
Moss and Carter both to the left side here. Now Moss in motion.
Reverse.
Here's the end around to Randy Moss. Tries to cut it up. Nothing doing.
Tracy Scroggins was all over it.
He had a leapfrog, trying to hurdle Corbin Lucina, but the Lions had 2 men there to stop the play.
You know, another thing, too, getting Randy the ball early in the game, you know, then he feels like he's a part of things early. Tracy Scroggins is upfield and he stays home, and James Jones on the backside closing. And if Randy gets the ball in his hands early, he's not going to be a distraction the rest of the game. I think so. I think that's why I wouldn't want to get him. You always see him bickering on the sidelines or asking the coach or talking to the quarterback, wanting the ball. I think if you get it to him early, that's a good thing.
They lost a yard on the play. Vikings have 2 tight ends in. Moss in motion again. On 3rd and 6. Culpepper,
he's deep. He's open.
Out there for Randy Moss. He's going for a touchdown. "61 yards. Mom is in the stands. Randy Moss beat Kurt Schultz on the play by a mile.
That's one happy woman.
Wow. And this is what the Lions feared. The big play to Moss, and he breaks open for it.
He's an equalizer. You know, you get the short field and you're here on the road. Now it's back to equal. That's taking the crowd back out of it.
Gary Anderson's extra point is good. Randy Moss, 2nd touchdown reception of the season. The first one was 66 yards. This one is 61 yards. We're tied.
Motion here. Randy Moss is lined up on the right side of the field. Now, when he starts in motion, Marquise Walker's going to come with him. Now, when he gets here, watch. He points to the outside. You take Moss. I'm taking Carter. And they never get the thing sorted out. He jumps on Carter. Right here, he lets Moss go. And right behind the safety, Schultz.
Randy Moss wants to have a big game because Mom is here before the game. He brought her down from the crowd. There you go. Now the Lions.
On defense, John Randall still trying to break through.
With a sack, Tony Williams is back in the lineup after missing the last game. McDaniel, Wong, and Rudd have played well. Robert Tate, Chris Dishman picked up at the start of the season, has done a good job at the corner. Robert Griffith, the hardest hitter on the team. And Orlando Thomas, the free safety.
You mentioned
Randy Moss. Delete. Moss rises to the challenge. Right down here. That's why they call me the Freak. Here's the picture. Now you shall see the play.
and I think that's an area he wants to improve on. Moss in motion again.
Everybody out over the middle. Randy Moss, first down Vikings. Oh, hit hard by Lamar Campbell. Randy, a little high hurdling today. Took a hard hit, but came up strong.
Oh, they get that same motion. They move him over. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to play a 3 deep zone out of that. Schultz is going to go back. So watch him drop. See him get out of the picture. Now they get depth here, depth here. So he says, you know what? I'll sit right underneath your zone. He broke it. You know, he's so good at that. Catch the ball. People come try to take him out, and he jumps up and over him.
And Randy Moss with 78 yards has now become the fastest man to reach 3,000 yards in the NFL history. Robert Smith on first down gets across the 40-yard line. Alan Aldridge in on the stop. In the NFL, this is 36th game, and he has now reached 3,000 yards. That's faster than Jerry Rice. That's faster than Isaac Bruce. It's faster than John Jefferson.
You know, here in the first quarter, he just came out and has already gone over. He needed 78 yards to get it. He's over that now early in the first quarter. He's playing like a guy that's got something to prove to somebody.
They want to get him in the game early, and they have. Luther Ellis.
Into the first quarter. Lions scored first. The Vikings tied it.
Thank you for holding.
Came down, let Barry go for all those years, then came and picked them up. Let them back where they're at. Johnny Morton on the
Catch down to the 25. The ball was down. Robert Griffith picked it up and started to run with it. Morton got hit hard, but a good catch and a first down for the Lions.
There's Johnny right there working on Tate. Just a quick slant, and he sees how deep Griffith is playing, the safety. He's playing so far back, they just called, hey, all of them. They said, hey, there it is, take it.
Pick up a 15 on the play. Charlie Batch now 8 for 12.
Technology, Cadillac.
The real key to the Vikings-Rams game is the quarterback.
Here we go.
The quarterback is the heart and soul of any good team because the quarterback...
Ew, gross.
JP, I got something in my teeth.
Don't miss the wildest hour of pregame coverage in the business, featuring Julian Barbery's forecast and Jimmy Kimmel's upset special on America's most animated pregame show. Don't miss the Fox NFL Sunday pregame show next week.
Who broke a bone in his leg during a minicamp in June. Just rounding out into shape.
Still has 3 screws in his leg to keep the bone in place. On third down, Batch under pressure, hit as he throws, and down he goes. The pass incomplete.
Boy, to
Lance Sawyer, number 97, with a big hit.
He was laying on top of him as Charlie was trying to throw that thing. Here's to Lance, 97. He just takes an outside rush past Ray Roberts, and Charlie was throwing that thing as he was looking at the roof of the Silverdome.
From the umpire camera, down at field level, and you can see the ball falling incomplete. Good view.
The block of Beverly. Whoever Beverly is doubling on, they look like the runs are cutting back off his butt.
Vikings have Chris Hovan, their first-round draft pick, number 99 in at left tackle. Batch, the screen to Stewart. And it really was blown up by Robert Griffith. What a great job Griffith did.
That, you know, that's what he is. That's you said blown up, and you said Griffith. Those two words go hand in hand.
Timeout, Minnesota. That's the team's first charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
He steps right underneath Compton and just messes that whole thing up. He's always hovering around the line of scrimmage. He's always around the ball. Robert Griffith, he's a landlord. And a landlord on defensive football is anytime anybody comes into your place, you're making them pay their dues.
Vikings stop the clock, hoping to get the ball back. In the NFC Central, the Vikings coming off the bye week. They're 3-0. The Lions, third of 5 consecutive division games, are 3-1.
Position. Yeah, how quickly it changed. You know, as I was saying, going back to that punt and then the penalty.
Randy Moss. They haven't doubled on Randy, but he did catch the big one. 61-yard touchdown reception. Everybody out. Culpepper steps up and runs for it. And a big gainer. And a flag goes in. Culpepper gets down to the Lions 42. And let's check out the flag. Going to be against the Vikings.
Chris Carter wants one more play. Well, it takes 3 seconds. They're going to send in the field goal team. Denny Green says, let's tie it
up. Gary Anderson hasn't missed this season. 5 for 5. He's really come back strong. Had problems in his personal life last year with a very difficult divorce.
You know why they're going for it right now?
Yeah.
Because if it's a pass play and Daunte Culpepper starts running around, that clock's going to tick. It'll be chewed up. They wouldn't have the time to stop it after the pass if it was incomplete to kick a field goal.
Do one quick toss, a fade to Randy in the corner. Look at me. I'm trying to be an offensive coordinator. Gary Anderson ties it up. He's 6 for 6. It's a 20-yard field goal. Anderson perfect this season. He's really played well.
I think that was smart. I think that was smart what they did right there.
And Gary Anderson is closing in on the all-time point scoring record in NFL history that is held by George Blanda, the man who played forever, it seemed. 26 NFL seasons with the Bears, Baltimore, Houston, Oakland. John Madden said, let Blanda do it. 2,002 points.
You know what the thing of it is, too? It's phenomenal for Gary Anderson.
Yeah.
Gary Anderson's only been a kicker.
That's right. And he's closing in. Needs 29 points to break the record. 19 seasons for Gary Anderson. What a great career he's had.
And he's back into that 98 form, too.
And now he's on to try.
Everybody out for Charlie back. Seeing pressure, gets rid of the ball, throws it away.
And there's a flag on the play.
His helmet. Uh-oh. Deland Sawyer with the front of his helmet diving at Charlie back. That's going to be roughing.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 97, a blow to the helmet, 15-yard penalty, first down.
That's a bad one on Deland Sawyer.
Well, at the end of this thing, he takes his helmet and puts it right into Charlie Batt's head. Right there. He comes with the head and then the arm to the head.
Well, the referee was right there to make the call, and they're being very careful on any blows to the head.
Good double team, huh? Not if your game is do it. No. It's not
a wonderful life if you're James Stewart on that play.
I like that, Bill. They have to get to the 7-yard line for a first down. That sends everybody out, being rushed, and down he goes. Deland Sawyer got him this time. And that's a big sack for the Vikings.
I like Deland Sawyer. I like him as a pass rusher. I saw him early in the year, and I saw the way he comes off the line of scrimmage. He's only a second-year guy out of Nevada, Las Vegas. Watch 97 working outside on the tight end. Just runs right by Raspy. That's not a matchup that you want with a tight end. You want your big people. You want your tackle jumping out on him. He has speed and he has moves, and he comes with a motor.
Jason Hansen.
There's the top of the screen. There's Moss and Fair. Fair doesn't go for the stutter and go. And he's got safety help in the middle.
And he had Corbin Brown right over the top of him. But it's mixing the coverage is what Daunte Culpepper's reading. And that's why he's running with the football.
3rd and a long three. Culpepper looking, and he finds Randy Moss. First down, Vikings at the Lions' 26-yard line. Fourth catch of the game for Randy Moss. This one's a 17-yarder. He's pumped.
Yeah, he was up on Bryant Westbrook. They got him over here working on Bryant. Bryant's complaining there was a push-off. See right there, the hand and the pull over and the swim. And I'd have to tend to agree with him, but he's trying to get the officials' attention about it.
4 catches.
Get him head towards the sideline and get your pursuit to close him down. Time winding
down in the third quarter. The Vikings threatening. Mo Williams, number 21, is in the backfield with Daunte Culpepper. Everybody out.
Moss on the fade.
To the end zone to Moss. He comes down. Touchdown. What a catch by Randy Moss. Ryan Westbrook and Corwin Brown were there, and Moss comes up with a catch.
Moss changed speeds on Westbrook. That's what happened. When he got to him, he gave him a little dead leg kind of. Westbrook stopped, and then the separation came.
Second touchdown of the game for Randy Moss. And his third of the season. This one is 17-yard touchdown pass from Daunte Culpepper.
That's the matchup they like. They can create a way to get Moss on Westbrook.
With 14 seconds to go in the third quarter. Daunte Culpepper finds Randy Moss
in the corner. He makes a great catch.
Westbrook in the second half. That's the matchup they wanted. I mean, at the end of the second half, we alluded to it a little bit. I said they got
Moss over there. I wouldn't be surprised if they went after him. Now, right here, Westbrook, he's looking in at the quarterback the whole entire time. He knows he has safety help over the top. Cornerbacks, when they know they have safety help over the top, start looking back at the quarterback, and that's when they get into a problem.
He's back. Here it is. The leap and the catch.
They wanted to get Randy involved, and Chris's catches are going to be there. Over the course of the year, he's going to be there.
First down at midfield.
He was key for him in New England.
2 tight ends for the Vikings. Moss left, Carter right. Culpepper looking for Moss. Deep downfield. Up they go, and he's got a touchdown.
Unbelievable.
Randy Moss with his third touchdown catch of the game. A 50-yarder.
They played him with safety help over the top, and he went up amongst 2 of them, and he did not dare.
He's something special, isn't he? Oh, man. There's another souvenir. Moss, who caught a 61-yarder and a 17-yarder in the first half. Now a 50-yarder, his third 3-touchdown game.
Bobby Ross was a tremendous second half.
The big bomb. Gary Anderson's extra point is good. Randy Moss leading the way, but this is a great throw by Daunte Culpepper. The big arm, and then the great catch. This little Randy Moss wanted the ball. They've gotten it to him. The Vikings set the game plan to get the ball to Randy Moss.
There's a double coverage. He just goes right up amongst all the guys. You see him use his right hand. He actually used his right hand and pushed up to get a height, more height off of Corwin Brown.
And as he turned, the ball was right there for him. Gary Anderson on the kickoff. How?
Vikings with a 24-17 lead. Robert Smith up the middle, big hole.
Burst to the outside, beating Corwin Brown. Smith down the sideline. Fair trying to catch up. Smith goes in. They broke the big one. 65-yard touchdown run for Robert Smith. That is a killer.
You see who was down there leading the way at the end, too? Randy Moss. Randy Moss was running stride for stride with him from the other side of the field. He lined up on this side of the field over towards us and ran all the way across the field when that thing broke and was down there leading the escort into the end zone. He watched that early pregame show this morning that was dogging him on runs.
Gary Anderson's extra point is good. The Vikings, one play, break it.
Watch the size of the hole in here. Dixon with push down. And it was a nice bounce move, again, with the vision of Robert Smith. But watch, right here, look at this. Look who's here. And he picks up a block at the end.
Pump Terry Fair. And Smith able to walk right in. There's the escort.
You know, he said, I talked to him before the game, and he was upset over those comments. He said, you know what? It's a motivating factor. That's what it is. And you're going to see my best today. And all the coaches knew. They talked about him early. He went to early chapel, and he came in early chapel upset at the comments. And he says, I'm going to prove my critics wrong.
Well, he's done it all today.
Well,
and then
his critics were right. But whatever it did, it motivated him. And he's had an unbelievable day today.
Smith tight-roping the sideline. And every step he stays in. 14 carries, 131 yards. His second 100-yard game of the season. 23rd of his outstanding career. And the Vikings have quieted the crowd finally here with 6:23.
Down to the 38-yard line. But today belongs to Randy Moss. 61-yarder.
In the first quarter. 17-yarder. And then the 50-yarder in the fourth quarter. The 17-yarder came in the third quarter. 168 yards for Randy Moss.
That's like a St. Louis type of day.
How about the Rams today? They've hit the 50 mark against San Diego.
I've seen the promised land.
The battles were fought on a bridge in Selma, and with the words of Martin Luther King. They were won with the deeds of Rosa Parks and the Freedom Riders. For men like Kenny Washington and Woody Strode, who broke the color barrier in the NFL a year before Jackie Robinson played for the Brooklyn Dodgers, the victory came before the final score was posted. Just playing the game was enough.
Where we are now is very much because of what some of those guys did.
I think the NFL's made progress. I think there's still more progress that has to be made. There's no doubt about that.
Now, more than a half-century later, a degree of progress can be measured. Tonight, another dream is realized. Courageous steps in Selma have led to proud strides onto a football field in Minneapolis. For the first time in National Football League history, a game will feature two black head coaches. The Vikings, Dennis Green, and the Buccaneers, Tony Dungy, and two black starting quarterbacks, Daunte Culpepper and Sean King.
We have opportunity, I think, to really make a difference, not only on the field, but off the field as well, and I welcome that challenge.
But tonight, playing the game won't be triumph enough. Tonight, the quality of their performances will ultimately override all other factors.
They will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Character and ability and talent are all that matters now. With superstars Moss, Carter, and Randall, the Vikings will be trying to remain unbeaten.
Very important game for us, trying to get to 5-0.
and we got to go through Tampa to get that.
And the Buccaneers are determined to make a 2-game losing skid a distant memory.
We have to go out and close the gap between us two.
A marquee matchup tonight when the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Minnesota Vikings on ABC's Monday Night Football.
Are you ready for some football? With a flash of thunder and a lightning strike, storming the field, sparks will fly tonight. We're charged and ready. The crowd goes berserk. It's a wake-up call. Time to go to work. You better get ready. It's going to get rough because Monday Night Football is powerful stuff. Come on and hit it. Come on and get ready. Are you ready for some football? A Monday night party? Yes, sir. The countdown to the kickoff has officially started. There's no neutral corner in this heavyweight fight. All my rowdy friends are here for Monday night.
The Metrodome in Minneapolis. It can be as noisy as any facility in the National Football League. Tonight will be one of those nights. Full house looking on. The Minnesota Vikings ready to come out onto the field to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And here they come. Big NFC Central battle. And we are ready for some football. I'm Al Michaels. Welcome to Minneapolis. When the season began, the Vikings figured to be a pretty good team. But this good? Think of it this way. It's only the 9th of October, yet there are only 2 undefeated teams in the National Football League. The St. Louis Rams and the Minnesota Vikings with young quarterback Daunte Culpepper. We'll take our first look at him tonight. Tampa Bay, a legitimate Super Bowl contender. Remember, last year they came within 5 points of getting to the Super Bowl. This year started swimmingly. They were 3-0, but then they blew one to the Jets at home. Lost one in overtime to Washington last week and come in tonight in a critical early season game against the Vikings. Tampa Bay, Minnesota, a good one on Monday Night Football.
It has 22 sacks on the year. They're going to be going after the biggest quarterback in football, and Daunte Culpepper, a guy I think is the story of the league so far. He's led the Vikings to a 4-0 record because he's given the ball to Robert Smith on the ground and thrown it up for Randy Moss in the air. Now the Bucs, they've got to open up that offense tonight. They got to get the ball to their major distraction, Keyshawn Johnson. They can't afford to get behind tonight. They cannot afford to lose this game.
And the Bucs are noted for playing very conservatively offensively. Eric Dickerson, what about that Tampa Bay offense?
Well, Tampa Bay is very conservative on offense. They love to run the football in some cases where they should throw it. Now, they do have 2 pretty good running backs in Mike Allstott and Warwick Dunn. When I think of Mike Allstott, I think about 255 pounds.
His current team, and now he's here to stay. 2 weeks ago, he signed a contract extension through 2004, and he is a proven winner. He took the Vikings to the playoffs 7 times, and tonight, Al, he's looking to get 1 step closer to his 4th division title with Minnesota.
Well, one thing he'll try to do tonight is what everybody's been able to do pretty much this year, Dennis Miller, and that is keep your old buddy Keyshawn Johnson in check. What do you think?
Well, you know, Al, Keyshawn's catching a lot of flack down in Tampa Bay, but I dig the guy. I think he's a gamer, obviously one of the 5 most gifted wide receivers on the planet, and I like the way he works the media, too. He knows the contemporary athlete's bread is buttered in this controversy thing, and I think he knows the drill, and I really like the way he works. What I don't understand is why he continues to disparage Wayne Corbett, who I also believe is a guy who's tough as nails. I think Corbett shows up every week, and with not quite the skills Keyshawn has, puts out and does his job. And I don't understand why Keyshawn is so hung up with him, but I won't let that color my appraisal of him. You know why? I'm a journalist, and I've got a canon of ethics I got to adhere to, and I'll be very even-handed tonight. There'll be no bias. We've got a game to cover, damn it, Al, and that's exactly what we're going to do.
You know, you'll never be a flashlight. You are the entire constellation. The stars are out tonight. Tony Dungy leading his Tampa Bay Bucs into Minneapolis to face Dennis Green and his Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football.
4,000, and Randall jumping off sides.
Well, Randall was sitting on a lot of emotions this week. I'm sure he saw what happened to Keyshawn when they played the Jets. Just decided to bite his tongue. But it all came out on the first play. Could not stay in his set.
He's a guy likely to wind up in the Hall of Fame after 12 years here. And then the pass is taken by Johnson. He had control, lost it, fumbles it to the Vikings. Keyshawn Johnson came down with it. Orlando Thomas winds up recovering the fumble.
Just his second fumble in his NFL career. Robert Tate is number 28. He's going to reach in from behind and knock this ball out right there. And Keyshawn with a huge mistake to start this ball game.
Unfortunately for Keyshawn, his first fumble was just last week at Washington.
Great play by Robert Tate with a left hand, reaching in and knocking it loose and giving the Vikings great field position.
So he goes 4 years and 4 games. Goes 4 years and 4 games without a fumble, then fumbles last week, fumbles here. And here's our first look at Culpepper. He starts out of the shotgun from the 28-yard line. And the huge quarterback at 266 pounds. It's like tackling a tight end. He's inside the 5. How's that for a beginning?
Thing about Culpepper, he's listed in the Viking press guide at 266 pounds. It'll show you the evolution of football. We always hear about the Hogs for the Washington Redskins. Super Bowl 17, the average weight of that offensive line was 266 pounds. He's the new deal.
And Gary Anderson chasing George Blanda to become the all-time scoring leader, makes it 7-0. Now Culpepper ran for 3 touchdowns on opening day against Chicago. So this is his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
The thing that Sherman Lewis, their offensive coordinator, told me about Culpepper is that he's unusual that he's so big and athletic. We're seeing all of that right now. But he's cool. He's a competitor, and he senses the pressure without panicking. But when you have that type of speed and this type of body, one read down the field to his receivers, and then the Buccaneers are caught in a man-to-man pass defense. And absolutely the worst start for Tampa Bay in a game that they cannot afford to fall behind.
Now watch this. As soon as he crosses the goal line, he points at me. You know, we've established a bond this week, Daunte. See that? Hey.
You don't have very good seats there, Dennis, if he's pointing the corner of the end zone.
Well, when are you guys going to let me up in the booth?
We're working on it. 27 yards. Wow, what a start for Vikings.
It's the first time the Vikings have scored off a turnover this season. So Keyshawn had possession, loses the fumble, and the Vikings take immediate advantage. 7-0, just 24 seconds into the game.
For the Vikings. Defensive tackle, Boston College.
Lance Sawyer, defensive end, University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
John Randall, defensive line, it's still Texas A&I.
Tony T-Bone Crusher Williams, defensive tackle, University of Memphis.
Dwayne Rudd, outside linebacker, University of Alabama.
Kylie Wong, linebacker, Stanford University.
Eddie McDaniel, linebacker, Clemson University.
T-Bone Crusher, by the way, is his given middle name.
On second down and 9.
And thanks to Daunte Culpepper, a 7-0 lead early at the Metrodome. Let's meet the Viking backs and receivers.
Daunte Culpepper, quarterback, University of Central Florida.
Robert Smith, running back, The Ohio State University.
Jim Kleinsasser, fullback, University of North Dakota.
Randy Moss, wide receiver, Marshall University.
Chris Carter, wide receiver, The Ohio State University.
John Davis, tight end, Emporia State University.
You gotta love it. Carter and Smith absolutely very formally telling you what school they attended. The Ohio State.
I thought Davis was from the Emporia State University.
2nd and 8. Culpepper throws wide open, and making the catch is John Davis. So you've got Randy Moss and
Guys who will lead the way for Robert Smith and Company tonight.
Tackle, University of California, Berkeley.
Corey Stringer, offensive tackle, The Ohio State University.
Corbin Lucina, guard, Augustana College.
Dave Dixon, right guard, Arizona State.
Matt Burke, center, Harvard University.
Now you add to that crew, Al, we've got Kleinsasser, Sherm Lewis, the offensive.
Culpepper, yeah, no question. With a quarterback sneak, 4th and inches. Yeah.
When was the last time a linebacker had to worry about taking a quarterback on a quarterback sneak up high?
there he is. He was the #1 pick of the Vikings. A lot of people were shocked. You know, the class of '99 with the 6 QBs going in the first round, including the 1, 2, and 3 choices headed by Tim Couch to Cleveland. Out of Central Florida, they would at least line up to go for it. 4th and inches from the 45. Trying to draw Tampa offside, and they'll go for it anyway. They have the first down as Robert Smith finds the 5.2 yards per carry on the ground, so they've been vulnerable there. Play fake buys time. King guns it over the middle. It is caught by Jaquez Green, who loses a shoe, but he has been their big play guy. He's averaging 26 yards a reception. That's good for 19.
Well, contrary to what a lot of people think about the Bucs offense, Les Steckel told me when the Bucs can isolate Jaquez Green on either Dishman or Tate, he feels Tampa Bay has a huge edge over Minnesota. He's small, but he's aggressive and fearless over the middle. But when he gets loose with his 4.4 speed, he almost runs out the backside of the zone coverage. Nice tackle by Thomas.
You can talk Holt, you can talk Bruce. St. Louis, guys, Jaquez is leading the league at 26 per catch.
1st and 10 at the 42. Griffith on a blitz. They pick him up. But then King goes down in the arms of Talance Sawyer.
Talance got his first career sack last week against Detroit. This is more of a coverage sack by the Vikings secondary because, again, King had a lot of time to throw. It took a while for Talance Sawyer to get all the way around the corner here, working against number 79. That's George Hageman, who's in for Pete Pearson.
Bring them out. Next to no game. 5 minutes to play.
In the first quarter, let's meet the Minnesota secondary.
Chris Dishman, corner from Purdue University.
Robert Tate, defensive back, University of Cincinnati Bearcats.
Orlando Thomas, free safety, University of Louisiana at Lafayette.
Robert Griffith, strong safety, San Diego State University.
Denny Green.
Stadium where the Vikings and Twins had at it. You know, Dan, Al and I went out to the Mall of America the other day. The
Piercing pagoda and had our nipples pierced. you were out.
Yeah, I'm out.
Al, leave your post in for a couple months.
I was out too. From the 22-yard line. Culpepper. Throwing wide open is Randy Moss. How did he get that open? And he takes it to the Buccaneer 42-yard line.
Buccaneers were playing a 2-deep zone, and the tight end, John Davis, went down the middle. That allowed Moss to get down the sideline. Donnie Abraham turns him loose here. He's expecting help from the safety. Safety coming over too late. Never even do see him. After the play fake, good protection for Culpepper, and he can just step up and let it rip. There's the safety. That's Lynch. He's way out of the play, playing too deep.
And Monday Night Football returns after this message and a word from our
BC stations.
A flag comes in. The ball is loose. The penalty.
And this is usually a penalty against the returning team. So if the Buccaneers don't have the ball at the bottom of this pile, the Vikings are in business again.
Wow, Limbaugh looked great, didn't he?
One of the guys in on this play was Mitch Berger.
Well, Red McCombs is going to look pretty good, too, as you can see, because they have recovered the fumble.
Well, you know.
But now let's see about the penalty. We still haven't had the penalty call yet.
There were a couple of flags thrown. Here's Berger. Watch him take off. He gets right in on the tackle, got his helmet on the ball, and it came loose.
Mo Williams recovers. The penalty is against Tampa.
Take a look at the penalty here on Vance. Holding right there on Tyrone
Carter, but look at Berger, 6'4", gets blasted backwards. He weighs about 230. Could take that shot. He got the ball loose.
Well, Berger signed a new $6 million deal. I think they wrote it in that he gets a certain amount per tackle.
I can bust anything but me.
Buddy wins. Excellent.
Lee Dungarees.
Play the game at buddylee.com.
Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Chrysler. We're reinventing the passion for driving. Cold, refreshing Zima. Zima, a few degrees cooler. Charles Schwab, when we created a smarter kind of investment firm, we also created a smarter kind of investor. And Lee Dungarees, Buddy Lee tested, Buddy Lee approved. After the timeout, when the Bucs called it because they probably had 12 men on the field, that was the reason for that call. 3rd down and 9 now at the 25-yard line as Culpepper fires over the middle, wide open, touchdown, John Davis. First touchdown of the season for John Davis. The former Buck comes back to burn Tampa. Anderson draws that much closer to Blanda. And with 11:11 to go in the half, Minnesota now leads by 10.
Fired up. Randall McDaniel and Jeff Christie that time gave Alstott the cutback lane, and he took it down inside the 5-yard line. Watch Alstott run right by John Randall here as Jerry Wunsch pulls Randall to the inside.
Now 3rd and 1, and they don't get it. It's Alstott stopped at the 4-yard line. So a little less than 2 for the first down, and timeout is called by the Vikings because they know that the Bucs now have to kick a field goal, and they want to have plenty of time for them to work their way down the field with 1:09 to the half. Field goal attempt upcoming.
It's a game of X's and O's. This is Hovan and McDaniel. Watch the rookie. A little late off the ball, but he gets his pads underneath McDaniel, gets in on the play, and allows Ed McDaniel and Kylie Wong to finish up the fullback. That's a huge play by Hovan.
Hovan in on special teams because Martin Gramatica is in right now to attempt a 23-yard field goal.
Keep a camera on Gramatica. The little guy gets pretty excited when he hits him. Playing it cool, very suave tonight.
Well, his team is down.
Been doing first half highlights, and Warren Sapp talking about some of the conversations
that he has had during games with Chris Carter.
Chris is so clean with his that you just got to laugh at Chris because Chris is so silly. A guy that old shouldn't be out there talking nothing but trash, but he's out there playing and talking. And you look at him, you're like, just shut up, Chris, for 1 quarter. Give me a little break. Then he looks at you and be like, you be talking too. You know, so it's all in fun. You know, if you can't have fun with this game, then there's no reason to be in it.
Now there's a guy we'd like to get mic'd at halftime.
That is a force of nature when we met with him the other day. And by the way, the reason he missed the first quarter last week is I think I might have falsely intonated that he missed a meeting. He was late for a meeting. A guy like Warren Sapp, believe me, this is a team guy. There's a whole different code behind missing a meeting. He would never miss a meeting. Just like any one of us, he walked in a little late. But nobody gives more for the Tampa Bay Bucks than Warren Sapp.
And the one thing about not getting mic'd up, he says there's no way he could ever do it.
With a minute remaining and 2 timeouts for the Vikings. Well, Chris Carter, remember, started his career in Philadelphia and then got his life together. And, of course, since he's come here, he has been one of the elite receivers in the National Football League.
The thing about him is he's never had to rely on his speed, but he has always been able to rely on his hands. More great catches made by number 80 than just about anybody that's ever played this game. Spectacular receiver who never had the great speed.
I think Carter and Sapp are both great examples of how certain people mature at different times in their life.
From the 31-yard line, dropping the snap, and then it's all Culpepper can do to retain possession as he falls onto the 20-yard.
Imagine how you'll feel driving it.
Good first half here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. The Vikings on top by a score of 17-10. Minnesota trying to stay unbeaten. Critical game for Tampa Bay because they're 3-2, having lost 2 straight coming in. Well, our feature mic'd up at halftime tonight features one of the all-time greats, as it turns out, at wide receiver. Chris Carter came out of Ohio State, went to Philadelphia in the supplemental draft in '87, came here in 1990, moving in on the number 2 spot. All-time career receptions. Chris Carter mic'd up at the half.
Come on straight. Start to come off like Hector in Orlando. Come on straight. Push it off.
Catching the ball.
I'm running.
Blocking.
Thank you.
Doing everything.
You know we do that to people here. You know what I'm saying? There's an anointing here to be able to catch the ball. Little man. How you doing? You remember me? Good seeing you, buddy. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go.
And here's our first look at Culpepper and the huge quarterback at 266 pounds. It's like tackling a tight end. He's inside the 5. How's that for a beginning?
Go out of T next time. I was hoping for a touchdown. I came out the back door. They messed up the coverage. 47 came down. I went straight out the back door.
We'll come back with it.
Out of T. Give us the ball back. Make them play catch up. Hey, fat boy. Hey. That's why they call you Big Daddy.
I'm gonna talk to him.
I believe you. I believe you. We got a plan for you, though.
Nah.
You need to talk to Keyshawn. You get a little too wide sometimes on them slants,
man,
too.
dog, man.
On the cover, too?
On that safety, on it was going to the y'all's left. He cut back across. I was going up to the safety.
Yeah, I understand. We still stay on cover, too. You to cut back, break a tackle, man. Do something special. Do something different. Yo! He's coming!
As Culpepper fires over the middle, wide open, touchdown, John Davis.
Listen, stay with your reads. Don't try to do too much. Hey, even them earlier plays where they sacked you, them good plays. We got a field goal.
Don't get your check down.
Yes. Well, see, he been on the check down that time on the double pump.
Special teams, because Martin Gramatica is in right now to attempt a 23-yard field goal.
Keep a camera on Gramatica. The little guy gets pretty excited when he hits him. Playing it cool, very suave.
Oh, come on! Hey!
One time in my life, I want to be on a team that's special. That's all. Special.
Chris Carter with a first half look as we see Culpepper rushing for a touchdown. That was answered by King rushing for a touchdown, but Minnie leads by 7.
The town is alive, and this has developed into one of the
great rivalries in the National Football League. These two teams have split their meetings over the past 7 years in a good first half with two young quarterbacks, Sean King, Daunte Culpepper, each scoring. And it was the Minnesota Vikings on that touchdown pass to John Davis, taking the lead up by 7 as we look at Culpepper and his numbers coming up through the first half of play. As we take a look at the statistics and a good first half here at the Metrodome in Minneapolis, Dan.
A couple of things to note, Al. The Vikings came in as the top rushing team in the NFL, only 61 yards. And now you look at the passing yards here for
who were born in the 50s.
Mitch Berger with a great job of getting that ball on its point so Gary Anderson can make that field goal. Two big plays by Mitch Berger tonight.
Second and 10 from the 13-yard line, and a flag before the snap. They gave it to the up-back Allstott.
I'm saying it a bit in jest, but I'm telling you, I think Keyshawn will suffer them running the ball all the time. If Green's going to get 8 catches to his 3 every game, you're going to have problems here eventually.
Snap, false start. Offense, number 64. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
That's Randall McDaniel again.
That's how he started his evening off, jumping off sides. Number 64 working on Chris Hovan. Look at Hovan with the stalemate right there.
Al, there's that real wide handoff you talked to Sean King about. He really sticks it way out there, doesn't he?
He does. Eric Dickerson thinks it helps to lengthen the offense, widen the lane for the running backs. This time they give it to Dunn going straight up the middle, and he goes nowhere. Tackled by Hovan. Eric, what about that reaching out to hand the ball off?
Well, Al, the wide handoff is so that the
here in Tampa, Randy Moss got exactly 2 passes in that game.
So obviously this defense has figured out a way to stop Randy Moss where almost no defense in the league has been able to.
Third down and 10 from the 27-yard line. And they go to Moss. He makes his 3rd catch of the night and seeks the first down, and I think has it with a good shoulder lean up to the 38-yard line.
They can't stop him forever. That was really a heads-up play by Moss, too. Because when he caught the ball, he was a little bit short of the first down. He's got such great explosion getting inside of Abraham there. And then the lean to pick up the first down. That's an all-pro play by Moss.
And you don't have to put it on Moss and Carter's numbers. You just got to get it near them. These guys might as well be playing with butterfly nets.
First down at the 39-yard line for the Minnesota Vikings.
This moisturizing lotion.
Terry, great interview with Orlando Pace. By the way, I said we'd babysit his daughter right after the show.
Great! I love kids. Nice going, Bradshaw. Uh-oh.
Pucker up.
Ooh. Terry, you are so dead.
Fox NFL Sunday next week at noon Eastern.
Picking up the first down.
Let's see, within a couple hundred of Rice now.
First down and 10 from the 43-yard line as Culpepper goes deep for Randy Moss, and Moss in the end zone makes the catch. Touchdown Viking.
Happening on a weekly basis now.
Well, the problem is that defensive backs are so in awe of the speed of Randy Moss that they forget to attack the ball when it's in the air. Donnie Abraham had position. He just did not make the play on the ball.
Same thing happened in Pontiac last week. Anderson for the point after. So Moss was pretty quiet for a while, but not now. McCombs is again. One of the Gunners. All right, back to the Moss touchdown.
John Lynch told me that he thinks the teams defend Randy Moss differently because they're so in awe of his speed and his athletic ability. Look at the position Donnie Abraham had on him. With the left hand, he's got to make a decision whether to go for the ball or take out Moss. He doesn't do either. Sherman Lewis, their offensive coordinator, says this guy, and he's seen some great ones working in San Francisco with Rice and in Green Bay. The ball is juggled. Moss makes the catch, even though John Lynch line.
From the 44. Olstad is the setback. King for Johnson, who adjusts and can't make the catch. He got position on Chris Fishman, who hung with him and helped to break up the play. Blitz, 2nd and 9. Moss back in the picture. And gets pinballed down at the 23, but not until he picks up a big first down.
Well, Randy went away for a while, but it's money time. What happened to the big guy? Is he hurt?
Check in with Melissa Stark.
Al, you've seen Daunte Culpepper's poise under pressure tonight. Well, it should come as no surprise. He's dealt with pressure since day one. He was born to a woman in prison in Miami. She was an unwed teenager in prison for armed robbery. Then he was adopted by a woman named Emma Thompson. She was 62 years old at the time, had already raised 14 children by herself, none her own. He said he owes everything to Emma. And when he got his NFL contract, one of the first things he did with the money, he realized a lifelong dream. He bought Emma a house. And Al, he's happy to say that her neighbors are nothing but doctors and lawyers.
And right now, her very proud son is on the verge of leading his team to a 5-0 record. He, like John Lynch, a baseball draftee, opted for football. Right now, 15 of 19 tonight. 2nd down and
3rd down and 10 now from the 36.
wrestled down by Randall.
Start blow drying Teddy's hair.
There's a temporary clock stop. Upstairs, the league looked at it. The guys upstairs did and said they weren't going to review it. As it turns out, right call. Here's Melissa.
All right, now, Randy, last week you told Daunte Culpepper, trust me, just throw me the ball no matter what. On that 4th quarter touchdown pass to regain the lead, did you ask for the ball?
Well, not really. They gave us the defense that we wanted. And, you know, we was kind of in the bind. We were down. You know, I just told our guys, man, just bite your lip. Let's stay together as a team, man. Let's try to make it happen. You know, our offensive line played a hell of a game. You know, keeping that defense out of there, you know, gave Daunte a little bit of time in the 2nd half to find me and Chris, you know, when given the opportunity. Chris came up with some big plays. Robert Smith came up with some big runs. You know, we just made it happen tonight.
Congratulations, Randy.
Thank you.
Let's go over to Eric.
With Daunte Culpepper. Daunte seemed like the Buccaneers blitzed a lot more in the 2nd half.
Yeah, they did do that. You know, they changed it or something. They wanted to bring the heat the 2nd half. They did a good job of bringing it. Defensive line stepped up and played a lot better the 2nd half. I got to give them a lot of credit. They're a good team.
Thank you. Back to you, Al.
All right, Eric. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come up a little short tonight. They've now lost 3 straight. They go to 3-3. They're 2.5 games back of the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. As we head to Nashville next week, the Titans and the Jaguars. On the East Coast, your late local news next. On the West Coast, 2020 downtown. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. And this has been a presentation of ABC Sports, continuing the tradition of excellence with another wild Monday night game.
ABC Sports thanks you for watching this presentation of the National Football League.
Daunte Culpepper, quarterback.
He's more than the new breed.
6'4", 255 pounds.
Beyond any prototype ever conceived.
There's not another quarterback in the league that can outrun him.
I consider myself a tenacious quarterback.
I think Daunte, he's a pure drop-back passer.
I never doubted myself. I knew I was drafted here for a reason. That's to play games and to win.
1, 2, 3, go!
Individual statistics don't matter to me. The main statistic to me is to win.
It's like we're three brothers. We have a great rapport. We listen to each other. We hang in there together. We encourage each other. But also we challenge each other to play well.
1, 2, 3, win!
I just thank God that I've got him on my team because nobody does it better than those two.
I'm not surprised by what he was going to do. I'm just surprised by the time frame.
That's our goal, to win the world championship, because if you don't set your goals that high, why play the game? I'm Daunte Culpepper, quarterback, 6'4", 255 pounds.
Come with me.
My kind of town, Chicago is. My kind of town, Chicago is.
Old Blue Eyes called it the town that wouldn't let you down. And tonight, Chicago's diehard fans have packed Soldier Field hoping for the best as their 1-5 Bears host the 5-0 Minnesota Vikings. Good evening, everybody. I'm Mike. The Vikings offense has Daunte Culpepper in his first year as the starter. He's made quite an impression with a quarterback rating of 94.1, fifth in the NFL. The backs are Smith and Kleinsasser. The receivers, Randy Moss, the most dangerous receiver in the game, averaging over 20 yards a catch. Carter and Davis, the tight end. Up front, two-time Pro Bowler Todd Stussy, who has a dominating game. Lucina, Burke, Dixon, and Stringer. A huge offensive line. Moves outside as they try to get their best four in the lineup, along with Hovan, Williams, and Sawyer. Good linebackers, Rudd, Wong, and Ed McDaniel, a Pro Bowler 2 years ago, leading the club in tackles for the fourth straight season. In the secondary, Dishman and Tate, the corners, Robert Griffith, the strong safety, smart and aggressive, and Thomas. All over there. Two things to keep in mind. Curtis Enos is out again, and their starting center, Olin Kreutz, can't play tonight. Casey Wegman in there. And that time, Griffith was right on the line of scrimmage. An undrafted free agent in '94, one of the big hitters in the NFL, came in tied for first on the team with 45 tackles.
Second and 11 from the 29.
That will make it second and 11. Of 99 through today. Tim Couch, of course, #1. McNabb went to the Eagles. Achilles Smith to Cincinnati, where everybody is suffering. Culpepper, as Joe mentioned, in a situation where he's going to be allowed to succeed because of the people around him. And McNown here with the Bears. Bartholomew will now have to punt to Walters. Randy Moss has not caught a pass tonight. They haven't even thrown one at them, and he is the only player since 1967 to average better than 100 yards a game against division opponents. That's when they went to the 4 divisions. In fact, he has just decimated the NFC Central. 100 catches, 104 yards a game, nearly 20 yards a catch, and 21 touchdowns in 19 games. Culpepper on a handful, has it batted down. That
make sure that it cannot be reviewed.
It will be first and goal, Chicago. McNown changing the play. Allen. Ouch. He's going to go tell McNown, don't change it to that one again.
To Lance Sawyer. Just blew right through.
That guy was a former high jump champion in Louisiana.
Didn't have to jump anybody that time.
Oh, he didn't.
He's already caught one deep pass. How much faster does he want it?
Stadium not controlled by the Bears. It's the Park Authority and a consortium. Smith slips a tackle into the secondary. Robert Smith, 40, 30, got a block. Touchdown. Chris Carter threw the block that got him the last 20 yards.
And Randy Moss threw the block that got him in the end zone. This is what hurt him in the first game. Robert Smith went 59 yards for a touchdown the first time these two teams played.
This one was for 72. Robert Smith, when he scores, he does it from long range, averages 27.2, a touchdown run. There's a marker down on the extra point. Smith's longest run of the year and his third rushing touchdown.
Well, he makes Kari Samuel, number 91, miss him right at the line of scrimmage, and that's what opened it up. And I'll tell you, he's got such a great gait when he runs.
The defensive nose guard was offside. That penalty will be assessed 5 yards on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
All right, here's Robert Smith, and you're going to see Kari Samuel, number 91. He's going to miss him while Robert Smith makes him miss him. Number 91, watch this. Kari Samuel, he's got a shot right there, and he can't hold on to him.
Mike Brown has a shot out. Now watch number 84. Look at Randy Moss. Here comes Chris Carter. Number 80 throws a block on Harris. Now look at Randy Moss. Just a little bit of insurance. There he is coming off the ball. And this is how you break the long runs. When you've got the receivers, the dynamic tandem of Moss and Carter out front making plays. That one's on Parrish.
So they have shut out both Carter and Moss, but they did the job another way with blocks on the 72-yard touchdown run. When you think of the Vikings, you think of Moss and Carter and the explosive offense, but they lead the NFL in rushing.
I sat here yesterday and I asked every single one of the guys at Minnesota, I said, what does Robert Smith mean to your football team? And he just showed you what he means to their football team. Everything.
I guess that note they crossed the 50s out, huh?
Turn. Two tight ends, Davis and McWilliams. Smith, huge hole up the middle. Smith, a flag is down. They threw it where Stringer and Lucina were blocking, and it's a hole.
And that's the problem that the Bears face. If they want to go out and double cover both of those wide receivers, with the size of this offensive line, if they get man up on everybody, there's a great hole to run
Holding. Offense number 73. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That was Stussy.
That was Stussy.
He's the only Pro Bowler left on this line after they got rid of McDaniel and Christie.
I'll tell you, what a great run by Robert Smith. He just came to his right, and he hesitates. Then you got to hold it right in front of the umpire cam. You see number 73 holding? That's the ump cam. Don't hold there. You're in midfield. He sees you.
Go hide and do it, right?
Do it in the line, right? Right at the line of scrimmage. They don't see you out there.
They mark it off from the spot of the hold, so it's 1st and 11. Smith again. Stepping over would-be tacklers down to the 25.
Mike Brown, the free safety, came up that time, forced Robert Smith inside. Then as he walking back, and after Robert Smith picked up about 7 yards, he looked at the bench like, what else am I supposed to do? I can't make the tackle in there. You can turn him in.
Robert Smith with 101 yards. He's just past Chuck Foreman as the all-time leader for the Vikes.
You just saw Brown going down. He couldn't make the tackle. But Robert Smith, boy, when he gets his knees up, he is very hard to bring down.
Got a better look at it. And Mo Williams doesn't want to see it again.
3rd and inches.
This is one where you just put the ball in Daunte's hand and just let him sneak it forward. He's 260.
Wants to throw. Culpepper, corner, touchdown. Oh, man. He beat Jerry Azuma. And the first touchdown catch of the year for the man who is number 2 all time.
That's all he does.
Touchdown catch.
That's all he does, catch touchdown. That's why he wasn't in Philadelphia, because all he did was catch touchdown.
That's a pretty throw by Culpepper.
Boy, he makes some terrific throws. He really does. He's got such a nice touch. The ball turns over in a short distance so well.
This is a great adjustment by Carter, though.
Gary Anderson for the point after. The Vikings, who had been closed out offensively the entire first half, explode for 14 points to take the lead over the Bears.
Well, you got everybody up around the line of scrimmage. What Chris is going to do is he's going to look in and get Azuma to think he's going inside and then just take it right up on the outside of his shoulder. Watch the hand fighting on the line. Carter coming down like he's going to block him and then just works back outside. What an excellent throw. Daunte buying a little time. Watch his touch. Such a nice throw.
Azuma, the all-time leading rusher in Division I AA at New Hampshire, has made the transition to defensive back, but he admits he still doesn't have the instincts of a DB yet, and he just went against one of the best ever.
All right, there's Stussy. We got him for holding a little while ago. Watch Stussy. He just does a great job on Philip Daniels on the outside, so Culpepper can throw the ball.
That's an awful lot of confidence in that kind of a situation, to be able to put that on your young quarterback to make that kind of decision.
And that was on 3rd and inches.
Is playing a chess game with Sherm Lewis, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings. It's like, am I coming, am I not? Do I have your outside receivers doubled? Do I have a safety in the middle? And this is a real chess game between coordinators.
They come on a blitz. Culpepper to Hatchet, touchdown.
There was a case where they gave him a double, a 2-deep look. Then they went to a single high safety, put the safety in the middle, and let the corners go one-on-one, and Matthew Hatchett just wins.
Well, if it's a chess game, that's at least check.
Jerry Azuma's just got to feel like the world's picking on him. It's Moss, it's Carter, this time it's Hatchett. Oh, he gets it out so perfectly. You know, and it's really not fair. Here's a kid who was a converted running back. You talk about a baptism under fire.
Gary Anderson, who's gaining on George Blanda as the NFL's all-time leading scorer, knocks that extra point through. And it's 21-9 Vikings.
Are you looking for a career with a growing company that traces its history and
1998, when this team went 15-1, they were a very prolific throwing team. This is a much more balanced run-pass team offensively.
Smith averaging more than 100 yards a game this season. Four-man rush. Pressure on Culpepper. Gets away again. He's escaped 4 or 5 times. Got a block from Moss on Urlacher. What a block by Randy Moss.
I'll tell you, Urlacher's a little slow getting up. The guy that missed him is Philip Daniels. He's got the quarterback Culpepper in the backfield. Look at Urlacher laughing. He got knocked down by a wide receiver. That rarely happens to him. Here it comes. Philip Daniels right here has got Culpepper. Culpepper gets out, but here comes the block that you're going to love, folks. Right there. Randy Moss on Urlacher.
Watch Randy Moss from the left part of your, or excuse me, right part of your screen. Just goes in and throws a body up into Urlacher. This is a guy that you know, we've seen is they've shown film where some of the plays he takes off, but he hasn't really been very productive tonight catching the football.
Philip Daniels,
but he's made some terrific blocks.
Merrill Hodge did a report for us at ESPN that showed, as Daniels gets to his feet, that showed that Randy Moss took off an inordinate number of plays as a wide receiver. Now, the team has backed him 100%, and Moss says one of the reasons I run so many deep routes, sometimes I have to rest. I don't buy that totally, because I think he's got a chance to be the best wide receiver that ever lived, and you can't do that by taking plays off. But I understand our explanation.
But he, you know, Mike, I had a chance to sit with him. I interviewed him. We talked about it. And he sort of evaluates the play. If a run is going the other way inside, he feels like he can't get up the field. He also feels like by being on the field, his presence alone occupies at least one or two people. Sometimes you can execute a block without ever having to hit anybody.
But that time he made an effort.
That's right.
He was downfield. He came back to a big block on a guy who's 250.
But has just rejoined the club this week. And
Dustin Lyman is the other tight end. He's a converted linebacker. Down again, looking from behind. John Randall. Boy, he got a free shot and he took it.
He only has one sack so far this year. Well, boy, he's around the quarterback a lot.
Yeah, but when you try to block him with a tight end, watch this. Encino, he tries to block him with number 85, Encino. He just throws him on the ground. Look out. Bang.
Looked like one of those Reggie White moves.
Oh, it was just, McNow was just lucky to get it off.
4-1.
Hey, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Wow, those are impressive. Here, take a look at mine.
Nice.
Yeah, they're okay, but you got some future Hall of Famers right there.
Yeah, I bet I score big with these.
What's up with that guy?
Play 3-play and fantasy football when you go to ESPN.com and get updates on your Cellular One wireless phone. Now get free messaging services for 6 months.
Let's go.
So this may be getting to the midpoint of the season when some coaches are going to have some tough decisions to make.
3rd and 14, the Bears trying to force the punt and get the ball back. Blitz coming, they don't get there. Caught by Carter. What a catch. He's been doing it for 14 years.
What a catch. There he is, number 80. He's on the outside coming in. Walt Harris is trying to stay with him. Daunte Culpepper, watch this. He'll throw it back behind behind Chris, and he makes the play clean.
That's a heck of a throw, because if he leads him, he throws it right to Urlacher.
I wasn't that good to throw it that far.
Smith came into this game 3rd in the NFC, 4th in the NFL, and is averaging 9.2 yards a carry tonight. Past Chuck Foreman tonight has gone over the 5,900-yard mark as the all-time leading rusher, past Bill Brown a week ago.
He and Eddie George, I think, have the perfect bodies for the big, powerful running backs with a ton of speed.
2nd and 5, Smith is back in. Klein Saucer, the blocking back. Culpepper looks for Moss, can't find him, now takes off. Now throws for Moss. Touchdown! What a job of improvising by Culpepper.
Well, and I'll tell you, Randy Moss just took the ball away from Thomas Smith.
He takes it away from everybody.
Every game, Randy Moss comes up with something special. That's the one thing Dick Duran said. They're going to make plays. He tries to go to him. Thomas Smith does a nice job. Now he scrambles, pulls up, and then just throws it in his general direction. And Randy Moss has told Daunte Culpepper, if I'm in the end zone, just throw it up where I can go get it.
It's a marker down on the extra point.
Defense is offside. They'll just tack it on to the kickoff.
What impressed me the most about our meeting with Randy Moss yesterday, he has matured so much from last year to this as a person and a professional football player.
Offside on the defensive team, number 27. Penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Didn't you get that impression? To me, it was the difference between night and day.
Yes.
Randy Moss, the superstar, keeps working and gets the touch.
You can.
On Randy Moss emphasized that he is the most dangerous receiver in football. 34 touchdown catches in 38 career games. 0.89 per game. That is the best rate in NFL history. I'm surprised there's not more.
And he's sitting in a little tent over there.
Milburn, it's one of the reasons. McNown in trouble, Randall. That's only the second sack this year for John Randall.
I don't care. He comes right inside of Big Cat Williams, James Williams 71, John Randall. By the time McNown is done faking, John Randall is there. Watch this. Fake, turn, John Randall. And when he gets his paw on you, it's all over. Down you go.
James Allen, the running back, didn't even have a chance to help out.
Didn't see him.
Randall was undrafted out of Texas A&I. A lot of people made a mistake on that one. McNown flank. Culpepper walked into this year when they named him the starting quarterback. Here's what he has had around him. Dennis Green, totally supportive, the guy who thought he was the best quarterback and the best athlete in the draft, and the guy who has more tenure than anyone else in the National Football League, about a week more than Bill Cowher. He's got Carter and Moss, two all-world receivers, Robert Smith, who was a 1,000-yard rushing back and a Pro Bowler, and Stussy, a Pro Bowl left tackle, arguably the most important place on the line. So if you're a second-year quarterback, these are the people you want to be surrounded by.
Just drive the car, right, Paul?
That's all he has to do is drive the car.
Third down. Culpepper to keep it alive, and he does to Carter. Chris Carter to the 43. Harris tries to steal the ball at the end of the play, but can't. It's a gain of 25 and a new set of downs from Minnesota.
He has such a presence in the pocket. You're pounding the ball, now you spread him out a little. He knows exactly where he wants to go. Just a nice little pitch and catch. You know, part of practices are called 7-on-7s, where you just work with the receivers and no line.
At Central Florida, he broke Steve Young's percentage completion mark. 73.6% of his passes were complete as a senior. Smith. Now the Bears. And it works in Minnesota. Smith again.
Mike,
I'll set up another third down.
I'll say this, though. When you've got big plays out of Robert Smith and you've got big plays out of Randy Moss, you could almost have any system and it work quite well.
And here's what we mean about this system. Look at all the different quarterbacks since '92. Every one of them has a winning record. Gannon, Salisbury, McMahon, Moon, Johnson, Cunningham, George, and now Culpepper. And this is in no way to denigrate the abilities of those quarterbacks, particularly Daunte Culpepper. He's going to be a star for years.
And I believe in '95, the one Warren Moon actually played the entire year. That's the only time they didn't make the playoffs.
Did not. That's correct. 3rd and 4. The clock down to 2:19. And now Minnesota will take a timeout. 3rd and 4. Culpepper to throw. Carter. Another first down, Minnesota. And we will come up to the 2-minute warning. Chris Carter, 7 catches, 112 yards, and got that first touchdown of the year. Our final score, the Vikings 28, the Bears 16. SportsCenter's next with all the news, scores, and highlights for Joe. Theismann, Paul McGuire, Solomon Wilcots, and our entire ESPN crew. This is Mike Patrick. Good night from the Windy City. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Football League from CBS Sports, home of Super Bowl 35.
The unbeaten Vikings are in line to be perfect, led by young quarterback Daunte Culpepper, a power package that can throw 80 yards and at 260 pounds move at halfback speed. Culpepper's talent awakens memories of Minnesota's glory years of the 1970s when Fran Tarkenton and the Purple People Eaters scrambled to 4 Super Bowl appearances. Buffalo answers with their own elusive veteran Doug Flutie, a smaller package but with a magical past and a serious eye on an upset today. First down by Robert Griffin, the safety. And here are the Vikings defensively. 4-3 alignment with Randall, the rookie from Boston College, Chris Hovan, Tony Williams, and Talan Sawyer. The linebackers, Rudd and McDaniel. He leads and tackles. Kylie Wong is the middle backer. Chris Dishman and Robert Tate outside. Orlando Thomas and Robert Griffith at Safefield with him out of the shotgun. His first throw is batted right out of his hands by Talance Sawyer.
Boy, that ball looked like it slipped out of Doug's hands. I know he was just trying to flip it over the top of Sawyer to start the screen, but he almost served it to him on a silver platter. That ball, you see it it's like a knuckleball. Watch it come off of Doug's hands. Oh, Doug, that was not the way you wanted to throw that thing over the top.
That was a shot put.
Oh, that really was. That dangerous pass. Yeah, see how much time he has if he wants to audible. That's very smart.
Third and a long yard. Morris can't make it. What a surge, led by Talance Sawyer and Dwayne Rudd.
Well, Wade Phillips tries to go to the money side of his line. That's John Fina, Reuben Brown over to the left. And Sammy Morris, when he tries to work his way back in there, finds nothing. And that was just a case of the pad level, the Vikings below the Bills. And Dwayne Rudd lets everybody know, not here, not now, maybe not ever.
The league last year without a Pro Bowl. Quick throw by Culpepper, and here's Moss in action, looking
for a block. Look out! And finally chased down by Keon Carpenter at the Buffalo 33. A 28-yard gain.
And you can give about an extra 15 yards of that to a block by his wide receiver mate, Chris Carter. Simple pattern. He gets to the inside of Winfield, who needs to give him more of a shot, more of a bunt. We're going to see the block by Carter right there. And look at that, at least 15, closer to 20 yards after the block by Carter. Carter drops Kenny Irvin right there. Boy, Chris Carter is a complete football player. A lot more than just running a fade pattern and scoring a touchdown. He is a there, thought he had him cut off easily from the sideline. And look how look at this year. This isn't all about running. 6th in passes, 4th in quarterback rating. That's a remarkable year for a guy who's having really his first year as a player.
From the 6, the throw, wide open, Chris Carter, touchdown Minnesota. Broken coverage on that play. Nobody near Carter.
Well, it's the old, you don't want to call it a pick play, but the Buffalo defense, and Antoine Winfield in particular, 2 of them go to the inside on one receiver, and nobody goes to the outside with Chris.
Anderson with 6 points in the game, goes for 7. And he's 3 away from passing George Blanda most points in the history of the NFL. 10 plays, 69 yards to open the second half. Culpepper finds Carter, and Minnesota reclaims the lead.
deficit, and the opponent, the Buffalo Bills, with a first down at the Vikings 15-yard line.
As we open this fourth quarter, and Sean Bryson with the best game of the season for a Buffalo running back. In fact, he's finally passed a quarterback, Rob Johnson, with the best rushing day by a Bill. Not this time, as Chris Hovan, the rookie, charges through and nails Bryson for a loss. Bonnie?
Right, well, Dick, before the game, I was talking to Doug Flutie. He said, I think the only way we're going to...
Culpepper has been especially effective in the fourth quarter this year, hitting over 72% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, a rating of 133, best in the NFL this year in the fourth quarter.
And you saw that look when he was looking over to the sidelines. That's the look of a guy who knows what's going on. No wide-eyed, oh my Lord, what's happening to me look. A very impressive young man.
Second, less than a yard, and Smith has the first down and more. Slowed down at the 15 and down at the 10. Keon Carpenter saved the touchdown.
What explosive blocking at the point of attack. He's going to work the right side. Dixon and Stringer, and then Kleinsasser right through the middle. Boy, that's going after your 2 biggest linemen in Dixon and Stringer, and then a 280-pound fullback. Robert Smith that time running behind a whole lot of humanity.
That's the longest run against the Buffalo Bills defense all year, 20 yards.
Boy, that's quite a statement as to how.
Ball just outside the 10. They could pick up a first down without a touchdown. Mo Williams in the backfield. Culpepper fires. Touchdown, Carter. Chris Carter's second of the game.
Flag has come in all the way over on the other side of the field.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 85, Minnesota, taking his helmet off in the field of play. 15 yards will be enforced on the kickoff.
Andrew Jordan, the tight end.
Well, that's what's called a dead ball penalty. That penalty happened well after the touchdown, so it does not in any way affect the scoring play, the touchdown pass to Chris Carter.
They'll kick off from the 20-yard line after the extra point. Going to go for a pair, trailing by 4.
Which is really a very smart thing to do, because if they convert this, they'll just...
Trailing by 5 at the moment. If they kick the extra point, it'll be 4, but they go for 2.
And this will get them within a field goal if they're successful.
And Carter in motion, and Culpepper's going to look for him. No, it's to Mo Williams. And Mo Williams gets the conversion for 2, and Minnesota is within a field goal. An 8-point payoff for the Vikings. It's 24-21. Bonnie, what do you have for us?
Well, Dick, one of the reasons why the Vikings are still in the game is the running by Robert Smith in red zone or near red zone situations. Now, that's not a domain that's familiar to him, because in past years, Leroy Horde, an ex-fullback of the Vikings, used to get the ball in 3rd down and goal line situations. Smith, as you might imagine, certainly doesn't mind the added responsibility. He says, I love it because I used to have to hate looking over to the sidelines in those situations, wondering if I was going to get pulled out.
He's going full-time now, Robert Smith. Very little relief. 2nd down and 15. Just gets it off. Culpepper on the roll, then looks back, and he's throwing long for Moss. He's open! Did he stay in the end zone? Yes, it's a touchdown!
Oh, unbelievable! That he was able to keep his feet in bounds.
Yards, that ball in the air about 55 yards right on the end line, and somehow Moss keeps his toes in the end zone for the touchdown. And now to take the lead, Gary Anderson. And his 2001st point gives the Vikings the lead with 3 minutes 42 seconds left.
Randy Moss, just using his blazing speed down the left, gets way past Ken Irvin, has to feather it down, and then somehow just stop his feet from moving. Watch this again. Randy Moss, how can you run that fast and somehow just stop at the back of the end zone and plant your feet and wait on the ball?
And maintaining the concentration, knowing that the defense is closing in.
Oh,
what a play. Highlight play, 39-yard touchdown. In case you're wondering, we asked Culpepper, how far can you throw it? He said about 80. I know I can go 70, 10 out of 10. And he made that throw some in the air, 50, 55 yards. Looked like a little flick of the wrist.
That was just spectacular control of one's body. To be moving with that much momentum, with that much inertia moving one direction, to be able to stop. Randy, I'd be dancing too. Unbelievable.
The 7th touchdown for Moss this year. What a player. At Buffalo, trailing by 1, has all 3 timeouts and 3:42 left to try to get in field goal range. Bryson and Watson, as the noise level is almost painful now as Berger kicks it off.
But they've taken turns. Stringer, Dixon, Stussy, all 3 of them been called here in the second half.
That brings up 3rd and 11. Culpepper down the middle. Carter with a catch. Oh my! At the 10-yard line.
How many years has Daunte Culpepper been in the league?
He just sat around with a scout team last year.
Wow. Against the Buffalo zone, Keon Carpenter, he's the safety with deep responsibility. He just doesn't come up with a big enough hit to separate Carter from the ball. Did Winfield get a piece of that?
It looked like he might have deflected a little bit, but Carter, with that great concentration and those superb hands, makes the play.
So good for so long. All right, let's watch. Let's concentrate on the ball. Yeah, right there. That's Antoine Winfield. Geez, he deflected it, but he didn't change the direction of the ball. It was still headed right for Carter.
And after seeing Carter's reaction catching the ball, it almost looked like that ball might have hit the ground from that angle.
Can we take another look at that? Let's double check this.
Carter with such concentration, even with the deflection. 7th catch, 2 touchdowns today. Let's look at the end of the play. Yeah, he did cradle it under.
Yeah, he sure did. He had his arm underneath the football. He had possession and he had control. He had all the requisites of a legitimate, bona fide catch.
How many men, though, maintain the catch? You know, that awkward after the deflection. Ball could have touched the ground, but Carter knowing how to do it right.
I am shocked that Minnesota would run a play. I am shocked that Minnesota would run a play that in any way would stop the clock.
Well, what it does do is bring on a historic moment for those of you just joining us. If Gary Anderson makes this field goal, he will become the most prolific scorer in the history of the National Football League, moving 2 ahead of the immortal George Blanda, who watches in Chicago.
That's the good news. If he doesn't make this field goal, Dennis Green is liable to punch him out when he gets to the sideline.
He's got the record, and the Vikings lead by 4. They lead by 4 because with a score 24-13, the Vikings scored a touchdown and made the 2-point conversion.
Well, congratulations to Gary Anderson, this native of Durban, South Africa, came to the United States when he was 18 years old and passes the immortal George Blanda.
He said when he went to Syracuse to play soccer and they introduced him to football, I said, when did you first even know the name George Blanda? He said, oh, I was in the NFL. His family, his mother from South Africa, now makes her home in San Diego. She's here for this moment. His young children. I asked both those boys yesterday at locker room, who's your favorite football player? And they said, Randy Moss. I said, not your dad? He said, no, he's only our dad. Well, their dad is very touched emotionally, Gary Anderson.
That football that he kicked through the uprights will head to Canton, Ohio, where it'll be on display. I didn't think I'd ever see that record of Blanda's broken. But now players are playing longer. There are more games to be played because the season is longer.
There's a future Hall of Famer.
13 years in Pittsburgh, 2 in Philadelphia, 1 in San Francisco, and now his 3rd year here in Minnesota. Gary Anderson.
First drafted by Buffalo, and they cut him, and Pittsburgh picked him up. Those great Pittsburgh Steelers teams, 1982.
Well, a daunting task here for Doug Flutie and the Bills. They've got him.
Not running it out. They'll begin at the 20-yard line. And let's go back. Here it is into the record book for Gary Anderson.
Well, does anybody not recognize the chiseled features of George Blanda?
It's spotted. It's checked. It is good. George Blanda has kicked the Oakland Raiders into a
Straightaway kicker, Blanda. No soccer style.
And no, folks, that is not a misprint. He did play in the National Football League from 1949 until 1975. That is, he participated in 4 decades. The 70s, 60s, 50s, and 40s. Unbelievable.
Now here's the Jeff of the Mutt and Jeff matchup of Culpepper.
From the 2 quarterbacks today. Let's take a look at what Daunte Culpepper finished today. 29 attempts, 17 completions, 259 yards, and those all-important 3 touchdowns. Irvin, we're going to take a look at it one more time because you can look at different things that happen in this play. Time and series almost at the 50-yard line. Yeah. So this ball was thrown a long ways.
Yeah. So the distance was there, but still, as far as the secondary is concerned, I mean, I'm sure
where were they?
They should have been there to make the play. It was a great throw. He threw the ball just where he exactly had to have it, and of course, Moss made the catch.
And that's why Wade Phillips has more gray hair than even he started the day with. Doug Flutie, 38.
First down, Minnesota at their own 46. 4-man front. Rush almost got there again, but it didn't. It's Chris Carter. Carter to the Tampa Bay 15.
And that's exactly what they want to do. They see John Lynch come up. And anytime John Lynch comes up, they know that they're going to have a form of man back there. That at some point they have to play man-to-man coverage. He gets Chris Carter on Donnie Abraham that time. And the reason that he threw that pass is because John Lynch came up.
39-yard pickup. First and goal. Culpepper fires the end zone. Handed by Randy Moss. One-handed. He never put the hand on the ball.
Randy Moss is amazing. This guy is amazing. And I say you take all the quarterbacks out, and who's the best player in all of football? I think it's Randy Moss.
Randy Moss.
And watch this play out here. I mean, he's right down here at the bottom. He just runs a quick fade. They just throw it up there, and he catches it with one hand. You don't have a chance. I mean, if you're a defender, you don't have a chance. I mean, he's just going to, I mean, he can jump, he can run, he can do all those things. And he didn't even bring that left hand in there to help him run it in.
That's going to make some highlight films, a lot of them. Well, it should.
I'll tell you, this guy is something. Both of these guys are something.
That's amazing. Minnesota 3rd and 10. 2 for 5 on third down conversions so far. From the shotgun. Again, the pressure. Carter comes down with it.
How in the heck did Chris Carter catch that ball?
It depends on how he marks it, whether or not he got the first.
It looks like it's inside the first down marker where he put his left foot. Left foot usually means a first down. Right foot is back, but it looks like it's just inside that. But Denny Green is already gone for 1 4th down, and I would anticipate he'll do it again.
It's 4th down.
And Culpepper made a great throw, throwing it away from the defender, and then Chris Carter make a great catch by adjusting to it. So he just threw the ball away from the defender, and then Chris Carter used his body and his hands. This could be a big play here.
It's 4th and short.
And that was to the Buccaneers. And the Bucs that year were 3 and 4 at the time. Minnesota was undefeated. They came in here, and in that same game, the Bucs were the only team to beat them all year. And in that game, they didn't have a punt either.
Robert Smith. Run down by Chidi Ahanatu. Came all the way across the field.
Yeah, that is something. I mean, and that shows what kind of defense this Bucs are. That they're all built around speed. But when you
let's meet the line and linebackers for the Vikings.
Chris Hovan, defensive tackle, Boston College.
Lance Sawyer, defensive end, University of Nevada, Las Vegas.
John Randall, defensive line, it's still Texas A&I.
Tony T-Bone Crusher Williams, defensive tackle, University of Memphis.
Dwayne Rudd, outside linebacker, University of Alabama.
Kylie Wong, linebacker, Stanford University.
Eddie McDaniel, linebacker, Clemson University.
Daunte Culpepper, quarterback, University of Central Florida.
Robert Smith, running back, The Ohio State University.
Jim Kleinsasser, fullback, University of North Dakota.
Randy Moss, wide receiver, Marshall University.
Chris Carter, wide receiver, The Ohio State University.
John Davis, tight end, Emporia State University.
2nd down and 5 now for the Vikings from the 41-yard line. Packers show blitz. Culpepper throws, caught, slant, Moss in Green Bay territory, then shovels the ball to Carter, and Carter is out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
That little shovel by Moss to Carter got him 7 more yards. There's Moss working on Mike McKenzie. McKenzie playing way too soft as Culpepper gives him a good pass, but this is why Moss is so special, and Carter as well. Carter was anticipating that lateral, and Moss made it with one hand.
Randy Moss is mic'd up tonight. We'll hear from him at the half. He's mic'd as part of our feed in Miami, and that's a 1st down, and it's inside the 10, so it's 1st and goal for Dennis Green's Vikings.
And one of the interesting things about this series of plays, normally you'll see a team come out and use a lot of different formations, a lot of different personnel groups. Well, the Vikings have done this entire drive with normal personnel, with a fullback, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. Now they make a substitution and go with 3 wide receivers.
Minnesota Carter.
Well, all Tyrone Carter did in his career at the University of Minnesota was make more tackles than any defensive back in NCAA history. Last year he was the Jim Thorpe winner as the best defensive back in college football. That's his strong part, coming up making aggressive tackles like that one.
They're going to miss Thomas, though. 31 takeaways since 1995.
2nd and goal. Damon Parker is in the game, and he is greeted by Chris Hovan, their #1 draft choice out of Boston College. Damon Parker coming back from knee surgery, but not which team is going to be assessed. Looked like Carter may have kicked one of the Packers.
Taunting. Defense.
Dick wants to know which number.
Pick a number. There's about 7 of them that we're doing it
here.
Well, the first thing was Carter got clubbed on the collarbone after he missed the pass. That started it all.
That was legal.
Taunting. Defense number 34. Continuing action foul. We will penalize 15 yards from the previous spot. It will be 4th down.
So what are they doing moving the ball back to the 19-yard line? There's Carter. Ooh, and Carter kicking Antoine Edwards.
Look at Randy Moss.
They're going to spot the ball. They still have it now. They spot it at the 23-yard line.
Randy says, let's get out of here, Babalu.
Yeah, the amazing thing is they called it.
It's at 4th down. Not even close. It's 1st down on the automatic first down for unsportsmanlike conduct. So it's 2nd down and 7.
And moments ago, the Packers were celebrating an apparent touchdown. Now they lose their poise and get a penalty that gives the Vikings a 1st down and gets them decent field position now.
Antak's always distracted in the rain. He worries about his Grecian Formula 40 running.
2nd and 6. The Packers have gone from a touchdown to forcing a punt to this. From the 26-yard line. Smith cuts it back. 1st down all the way out to the 48-yard line. Tackled by the safeties, Butler and Sharper.
I was talking to Todd Stussy about Robert Smith. He said the offensive line just want to get him to that next level, and by that they mean 10 yards down the field, because Smith has so much speed and so much ability to take it the distance. You saw his patience there. Started out to the left side and brought it all the way back to the right for a big game.
22-yard pickup for Robert Smith from the 48-yard line. They call his number again. Flag comes in. Picks up about 9.5.
You know, due in large part to Smith, the Vikes have 11 runs of 20 or more yards this season. You think that would lead the league, but believe it or not, Cincy has 15 runs.
Corey Dillon. Most of them against Denver that one afternoon, too.
Holding. Offense, number 63. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 1st down.
Corbin Lucina.
This Viking offensive line is huge, and they're just mauling now the Packers.
1st and 20. Mo Williams now comes into the game in the backfield. Culpepper buying time, looking for Moss, and Randy adjusts marvelously and takes it to the 20. Worked inside of Sharper. Sharper had him blanketed in. The pass floating. Randy adjusts like no other receiver in the league. Maybe Isaac Bruce is of that ilk, and that's it.
This guy's had the greatest 2 years of any receiver ever in this league up to this point. Unbelievable.
What you do is you combine this ability with 6'4", and that's what you get. You know, he's a pretty good basketball player, and his basketball skills are so evident on plays like this. He's just going up and rebounding this ball. Sharper had it, had position. Moss just took it away easily.
From the 20-yard line on 1st down. Again, Williams is the sole setback at the 12-yard line after a gain of 8. Randy Moss, a lot of people shocked when Dennis Green took the chance, picking him in the 1st round in '98. What a pick.
Now, he's the most feared wide receiver in the league. Just ask Tampa Bay. They've got to look at him up close and personal last month. But he's had some monster days against the Packers as well. In 4 games, he's been over 100 yards 3 times, and we've already talked about his 6 touchdown catches.
Pack could have had him in the 9th pick 2 years ago. They took Bonnie Holiday instead. Good player, but if you can have Moss, you need him.
From the 12, Moss has already caught 3 for 70 yards. There's a fade caught by Carter. Tries to get into the end zone and does. What an effort. Making the catch and then dragging McKenzie and pushing him and forcing his way across the goal line.
Boy, that's a tough turn of events for the Pack.
Unbelievable.
They think they have a touchdown down there.
And a real mature throw by Daunte Culpepper. Watch him drill the ball to Carter. Doesn't throw the fade. Just puts it on a line right in his numbers, and then the strength and desire of Carter is just unmatched by Mike McKenzie. Look at this throw here. Normally the fade is put up in the air. This is on a line, a bullet shot from Culpepper for the score.
Now you think that's just uncanny savvy for a young kid, or you want to keep it low because of the wind, Dano?
I tell you what, that's savvy and smart and talented athletically to throw a ball like that.
Anderson Minnesota. In Tampa, the game was out of hand by this point. This came just after the 2-minute warning. And you can see what Randy said afterward. He said, I just went up to the official as if, I was a friend of his, saying, hey, is that pass interference?
But Denny Green said, hey, Randy, you're not going to change the call anyway. Move along. You cannot put your hands on an official, and you certainly can't squirt him with water.
And you can't come up from behind unless you're a friend of Julius Caesar named Brutus.
3rd down and 10. Left. Culpepper has 2 timeouts. The vote coming up tomorrow. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific tomorrow right here on ABC News with Peter Jennings, and there is nobody better.
Now you're at a midnight rally for Nader somewhere tonight.
No, I am not.
Okay.
Not any, no chance of that, my man.
Just fishing.
I'm voting for. What's your platform then, dude?
I don't know. I don't trust anybody who spent their entire 30s protecting me from the Corvair.
Okay. An equal time to almost everybody tonight.
More to come.
Yeah.
Just trying to, I don't want to spread it around. You don't want to be favoring one guy.
We're going to add your zingers to the 3rd quarter stats tonight.
It's an election day. I'm all pumped up. Politics, football, everything you could ask for.
3rd down 9. Culpepper out of the shotgun. Daunte. Buying time, looking for Moss, who adjusts again, makes the catch at the 49-yard line. Tackled by Darren Sharper, and the Vikings are going to take a timeout here. Timeout Minnesota with 29 seconds, and now they're down to 1 timeout as they try to work their way into field goal range.
You got to give that offensive line a lot of credit. This play took about 5 seconds, but how many times have we seen this? Moss stopping, adjusting, going up and getting it in front of a defensive back. 2 defensive backs for the Packers.
Well, it's a superstar league, and the guy is undeniably a superstar. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you don't blitz, they give him time to throw that pass. If you do blitz, he's in single coverage out there. You can just throw it up, and he can rebound it. He's just an unbelievable weapon.
33-yard gain. Great rivalry. The Packers and the Vikings. The guy who's been a big part of it, Robert Smith. Here are his thoughts.
I never have to turn my dial up. My dial's always up. I don't care who we're playing. Every team in this league has talent to win. And the rivalry, those kind of things, I don't really concern myself with them, or concern myself with them. I think that's where people tend to try and play out of their means, and they tend to make mistakes more when they're trying to turn up the dial. And so if you always have it up, you don't have to worry about that.
It's a heck of a backdrop we got there. Looks like Binion's in Vegas.
It is. Randy Moss, 36 TDs in 41 games. They're trying to work their way into field goal range for Gary Anderson, who's been much better.
Long field goal
of Gary Anderson when we had him on Monday night. And when you have a long field goal like this, Anderson will tell you, you've got to drive the ball. That means you can't afford to kick it too high, especially in a win like we have tonight.
48-yarder. Berger will hold it. Mitch Palmer will snap it to try to give Minnesota the lead on the final play of the half. And Anderson's kick is good from 48. He can still do it.
That's a heck of a kick. We're in a wind tunnel.
Kick.
That's 2018 points for Gary Anderson, the leading scorer in the history of the National Football League. And it ends the first half. Minnesota up by 3. Let's go to Eric Dickerson.
Well, Coach, that drive was a good run of mix and pass, wasn't it?
Well, it was. I think we're trying to do a good job of running and passing. We're just getting so many penalties. I think that's going to be the difference. Hopefully in the second half we've had our share of penalties, get the ground game going, try to mix in some passes.
What about these turnovers you're having today?
I think the biggest thing, we start playing a little bit better defense in the second quarter. That's good. We got to bring that same kind of intensity into the 3rd and 4th quarter.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
All right, he's right about those penalties. 6 infractions for 73 yards, but they lead by a score of 13-10. Coming up next, the Lexus halftime show, and we come back after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations. Good first half as the Lexus halftime show comes your way from Lambeau Field. Minnesota leading 13-10. You'd get very little argument these days. The best wide receiver in the National Football League is Randy Moss in his third year. We have him mic'd up tonight. 4 catches, 103 yards in the first half. Randy Moss mic'd up.
Hey, what y'all want to do today? Hey, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's do this tonight. Let's do something. I feel too good. I feel too good. Ooh. I know my mama watching. What's up, Mom? I know my kids watching. I know my hood watching back in West V. I know everybody watching. Number four. All right, Randy. What's good, baby? Have a good one. All right, man. All right. Them boys doing all their practicing over there. Look at them boys over there doing all their practicing for the deep ball. Y'all ain't gonna stop it? Huh? Don't be scared. Don't be scared of me. I ain't gonna bite you. I'm just gonna hurt you. Put a little bit of fear in your heart. Come out throwing that thing, boy. Come out throwing it. Come out throwing it. First time I touch the ball, I'm trying to score. First time I touch the ball, I'm trying to score. Trying to get in that end zone. Come on. Hey, don't stop giving me that ball. Don't stop giving me the ball. Come on. Come on, guys. Help Randy out now. We're going inside or outside? Just get a block. All right. Hey, that wasn't no block. Regular. Come on, y'all. That wasn't no block.
Culpepper buying time, looking for Moss, and Randy adjusts marvelously and takes it to the 20. Randy adjusts like no other receiver in the league, maybe Isaac Bruce. Moss has already caught 3 for 70 yards. There's a fade caught by Carter. Tries to get into the end zone and does. What an effort.
Good job, Ado. Good job, boy. Old timer. I didn't realize where that ball was. If I didn't know where that ball was, I'd have scored. I lost my balance.
Keep it on the field, man. Keep it on the field.
Back turn.
I knew he was a gambler, but I didn't know he was an underhanded one.
Look at that. Perfect throw and a great catch. That's unreal, man.
And there was Randy Moss's favorite old-timer, Carter, scoring in that 12-yard pass. Meanwhile, the only Packer touchdown, Favre to Amon Green right here. It's 13-10 Vikes at the half.
Come from the cities and they come from the smaller towns. And beat up cars with guitars and drummers go crack, boom, bam. R-O-C-K in the USA. R-O-C-K in the USA. R-O-C-K in the USA. Yeah. Rockin' in the USA.
And we start the second half at Lambeau Field as we take a look at the numbers through the first 30 minutes.
The big thing as far as the passing yards concerned, Daunte Culpepper 10 out of 18, 1 TD, 2 interceptions. Brett Favre 11 out of 19, 137 and 1 touchdown, no interception. But those are those penalties.
All right, the report from Sherman, whose team is trying to get.
So the offensive line of the Vikings right now are in control. It's like the governor there.
Yes, Governor Ventura's in amongst us.
That's actually him.
From the 49-yard line, first down for the Vikings.
Well, you know, the more you talk to Denny Green, the more you come away shaking your head at how smart the guy is. I mean, it's just amazing how astute he is. He's talking about leaving Culpepper in the game to the end last week against Tampa Bay, and he said, hey, if I'm going to let the kid drive the Mercedes 500 SL when we're 7-0, he's going to stay in the game when things get ugly and cloudy. It's really, he's got a great street logic. He talks about it as Harrisburg logic. You ask him about the rain tonight, he says, hey, you can play wherever you're man enough to play at. I just like how pragmatic and hip he is.
The backup quarterback to Culpepper is Bubby Brister. Lest you've forgotten. Who hasn't taken a snap this season. 2nd and 8. Looks like the old Oklahoma wishbone. First down.
Yeah, if Jack Mildren was inflated like the Michelin Man.
Daunte Culpepper, picked first or in the first round. A look at him and some of the things he can do.
Well, the speed has got him in the end zone 4 times this year, but with his size at 6'4", he sees over the line extremely well. But it's his poise in the pocket, composure that has him with the Vikings with a 7-1 record. But right now tonight, he's made some mistakes that are rare for Culpepper this year.
What was that noise?
Interception.
Huh? That noise sounded like some
timeout.
Post-Bratwurst
Green Bay.
deal.
Their first timeout.
What do you mean? You're upwind.
Packers take a timeout. 5.5 to go in the third. I need to be defined. Third and 17. Culpepper sacked 3 times tonight, intercepted 3 times tonight, and not much of a factor running the ball. 3 carries, 14 yards. Swings it out into the flat to Smith. Smith seeking the first down and has it, and he'll have the touchdown. Robert Smith.
What a low rider this kid is, man. It's beautiful to watch.
I go back to what Chris Carter said about the Packers secondary being small and poor tacklers. The Packers started off the game missing tackles. We saw Mike McKenzie. This is an outstanding effort by Robert Smith. Not quitting, not being satisfied, catching the ball and going out of bounds. He goes down the sidelines, breaks 2 tackles right there. Leroy Butler, the last one, who's a very solid tackler. Smith made it look easy.
That is Robert Smith's first touchdown reception in 2 years. His last touchdown catch here on a Monday night in '98. Third and 17, and Bonnie Holiday is being assisted off the field. David Bowens comes in for Theory. Bowens earlier had a 13-yard sack. 2nd and 7 from the 43, late third quarter. Smith cuts it back up to the 49-yard line. 3rd and short. Here's Eric. Here's Eric again.
Well, Al, I've been watching Robert Smith run the football tonight. On his touchdown run, the defensive backs are trying to hit him in his legs, and he's literally stepping over them. As he runs around the corner, it almost looks like they're afraid to tackle him. Now, for a running back, that's what you like. I know how it feels in the 4th quarter. You want to pound them. You like to make a defensive back literally afraid of you, and that's what he's doing right now.
Another big night for him, averaging 6.2 per carry, coming in averaging 5.2.
Well, Denny Green's pretty cut and dry about salary cap matters, and he says that this guy gets a big piece of the pie after the season.
3rd down. 3rd down and 3 from the 48. Culpepper throws. That's caught. First down, and there is Carter's first catch of the second half in a key spot. Chris Carter talking about the great catches he has made through the years and why.
Practice. Visualize myself catching them, believing I can do it. It's there's not a lot of passes that I haven't caught either in my mind or practiced them. So I think that's the reason, the repetition of doing it week after week after week after week, then also expecting it out of myself. And also I believe that I just have a gift from God just to be able to catch the football.
Robert Smith has a few gifts himself. He's tackled by Leroy Butler after a gain of 6 to the 42-yard line.
Big first down there, Al. It's probably going to allow the Vikings to get it down at least to the 4-minute mark.
You know, that word expect that Chris Carter used when he's talking about catching all those passes, it's really the difference between a great player and a player that's wanting to be great. A lot of them hope to make that tough catch. Carter expects to.
The great ones put far bigger demands on themselves than a coach ever will, don't they, Dan?
No question.
2nd down, short 5. Well, tonight the Vikings have had the lead 4 times.
Chris Carter got him started with that 12-yarder right there. Remember the great pass by Brett Favre to Ahman Green for 5 yards and a touchdown. And Robert Smith got loose down the sidelines. Shoddy tackling by the Packers secondary. And Ahman Green powered in. Seemed like a long time ago for all those scores.
Maybe Brett ought to go underhand on this drive.
4 from the 43.
Frank Winter saying the ball's wet. Wants a dry ball.
Little wipe job.
I was wondering what the official lingo was on that.
That's what it is. Favre lays it up for Freeman, and it's incomplete. Or did he make the catch at the 15?
Yes.
What are they going to rule it? He caught it? Touchdown. He did what?
Ref was right on it, I think.
Dishman not intercepted.
Well, the Packers are going wild. The crowd's going wild. I mentioned there's nothing to challenge, but they'll have to look at it upstairs. Hand tack, well, he's laughing. But let's see what it shows on the replay.
It never hit the ground. It hit the back of Antonio Freeman. Watch it, right on his left. Watch his left arm bring the ball up in the air. And he's 6 inches off the grass.
What a catch.
Unbelievable awareness of where the ball is on his body.
The play on
and
the
he's got
field.
himself a touchdown.
Once again, we are reviewing the play on the field.
Ball went through Dishman's hands. Never hit the ground.
They're trying to bring the teams back onto the field if they overturn it, but I haven't seen anything to overturn it yet.
No, it's just a great fluky play for the Pack.
Hand tack hasn't even gotten over to the...
and then there's no contact.
Dishman didn't even tidy up afterwards. He just assumed that it hit the ground.
You couldn't film that scene in a movie and make it look that good.
Touchdown.
It will stand.
Get out the blow dryer. It's done.
A lot of wet heads here tonight, too. This is a heck of a play by Dishman, and just a lucky play at first, and then a great play by Freeman. He felt the ball on the back of his left arm, knew it wasn't on the ground, located it, grabbed it, and scored with it.
I'm happy for Mike Sherman. He's a good guy, and he's off the hook now on that call.
Favre to Freeman, 48 times they've combined for touchdowns. Never with any more drama than this. And it is another...
Shaver. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Vikings Extra on this Sunday night. And it seems the Viking crew has plugged up the holes of the ship. The ship's now been righted, and the Vikings are back on course tonight. They beat Arizona 31-14 at the Dome to raise their record to 8-2, and they looked pretty good at times doing it. First quarter, Culpepper dumps it off to Robert Smith. Screen pass, but look at the blocking downfield. Smith goes 33 yards for the touchdown. Vikings take an early 7-0 lead. Second quarter.
Has a good feel in the passing game.
Cardinals linebackers intact for the first time in over a year today. 2nd down and 6. Culpepper looking for a receiver. The Cardinals doing a terrific job in coverage, but Culpepper has an answer as he runs for the first down up to the 45.
Well, he was looking right away to the outside with Randy Moss. Now, this is where Aeneas Williams takes it completely away. Gets the jam, stays right on him, no place to go. So he pulled it back down, and he went over to Chris Carter. Chavis is right on top of him. Now, here's the difference in the play. Culpepper sees one, now back to the other side. It's man-to-man. So what do? The defender's backs are turned, turn the corner, and get the first down. Good quarterback play.
And he's broken Fran Tarkenton's Viking record for most quarterback rushes in a season. Play fake on first down from the 45. He gets hit, and the pass caught anyway by Randy Moss in the open field. And he gets to the 32. So Culpepper took the punishment from Pat Tillman coming coming in and completes it to Moss for 23.
I disagree with you, Dick. This might be the first time that you can legitimately throw a roughing the defender. When the guy lets him bounce off, point. Tillman hits him, doesn't do anything. Culpepper's standing there and makes the throw perfectly. And then again, here we go. Get the ball down the field. They caught him in that zone. And Aeneas Williams was sitting off, and then he was able to run back underneath.
I can never remember a quarterback, he's 255, who would let the defender bounce off him.
That was funny.
Like a flea.
We have a flag. Roughing the defender on the quarterback.
Redskins last week, continuing that. Vikings with a first down at the 21-yard line, leading 10-7. Here's Robert Smith. Robert Smith. First down again. Close to the 10-yard line. Lassiter, the last line of defense on the stop.
He had a nice stop at the last line, but it was a good job up front by the offensive line of creating that space for Robert Smith. You're going to watch this right side. You got Corey Stringer, David Dixon, Matt Burke, all three of them. Everybody on somebody, and Kleinsasser with a really good job of picking up the backer. Now watch the end right there. That's a good hit by Lassiter.
So the early going of the third quarter, the Vikings coming down the field with a first and goal at the 10. Robert Smith up the middle. A lot bigger and stronger and gets inside the 5. Mao Tosi making the tackle. It used to be Horde and Smith and changed the pace on offense, but mostly it's Smith now to great success.
I think Robert Smith looks bigger to me. I mean, I said something to him earlier. He always kind of downplays things whenever you do. I said, Robert, you look thicker to me. And he wouldn't say anything, but I did talk to Steve Wetzel, their strength coach, and he confirmed the fact that he's about 10 pounds heavier than he was a year ago, and it's all muscle.
Second and goal at the 4. Came into the game with over 900 yards gained. Here's Culpepper flipping to Moss for the score. Randy Moss held to 2 receptions in the first half, making his 9th touchdown catch of the year, and the Vikings on the verge of opening up a 10-point lead.
Watch Randy Moss. He's going to go inside. Now, once he has the defender to the inside, there's a cushion. This short of field, you're not going to be able to cover him. You can't stop him. And it was also good the way they staggered them, because what that does to you defensively is it forces you to give a cushion, because you have to wait for the offensive player to define themselves.
Gary Anderson, and flags are down, 3 of them to be exact. Bob McElwee
jumping the gun inside on Arizona.
So Randy Moss with the touchdown catch, gained 130 yards through the air last week.
As we look at this, I still
spot and is perfect as he has been with conversions all year. So the Vikings with all of those weapons. Culpepper, by the way, with 2 more touchdown passes today, now has 19 on the year, and the Vikings lead by 10.
Succeeding.
Look at the Metrodome from above as the Vikings on their first possession of the second half. Culpepper was perfect, and Moss, the recipient of a 4-yard flip from Daunte Culpepper, and it's 17-7 in favor of the Vikings, who will now kick off.
Consent is prohibited.
There's one happy Minnie Moss to the left and one concentrating Randy Moss to the right, but in the words of the immortal Dr. Evil, you complete me, Minnie Moss. I love you, Minnie Moss. That's a happy guy. I love to see that.
Cardinals from the 20, and this is the loudest the Metrodome throng has been all day. Plummer has it deflected, looking for the screen pass to Lance Sawyer. Got a piece of it.
I think there was a mix-up there because they were expecting a screen to the left side. Michael Pittman was in on the block, and he can't block. He's got to be the intended receiver on the left side. Comes in, boom, see that? He tried to get a shot on Lance Sawyer, like you mentioned, Dick, and because he did, he took himself right out of the play.
Plummer is 11.
Ooh.
picking up about 6. This is going to go against the Arizona Cardinals, but Dick, that play was made right there
by John Randall, because they were going to try to, he was going to try to throw down the field.
Oh, yeah, that's the first down.
Way to read the D. That's what I'm talking about.
Can't get enough football? Grab a Miller Lite, and any time is Miller time.
Who's calling these plays? Put in the backup.
A series to watch coming up right now with 8:03 to go in the third, and the Vikings leading by 10. They have their best starting field position right now, the 38-yard line.